All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Alahym. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day, we're going to pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they was testified me. You will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Alahym only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? So all esteem and Shamahim to Abba. In the name of Yahushua, man. Let's get this 1 Corinthians 4 and 14. He said, I write not these things to shame you, but as my beloved sons I warn. But though you have 10,000 instructors in the Mashiach, yet not many fathers. For in Mashiach Yahushua I have begotten you through the gospel. Wherefore I beseech you, be you followers of me. For this cause have I sent unto you Timotheus, who is my beloved son, faithful in the Lord, who shall bring you into remembrance of my ways, which be in the Mashiach, as I teach everywhere in every synagogue. Now some are puffed up as though I would not come to you, but I will come to you shortly, if the Lord will, and will not the speech of them which are puffed up, but the power. For the Malkuth for Alahym, not in word, but in power. So with that being said, go and get me Exodus 34 and 5, man, and Galatians 5 and 22.
And Yahuwah descended in a cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name of Yahuwah. And Yahuwah passed by before him and proclaimed Yahuwah Alahym, merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear.
That's good. Galatians 5 and 22.
It say, but the fruits of the Ruach is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And
that's good. That's good. So give me 1 Samuel 10 and 26. Shalom, bro.
And Saul also went home to Gibeah, and there went with him a band of men whose hearts Alahym had touched. But the children of Belial said, how shall this man save us? And they despised him and brought him no presents, but he held his shalom.
Back it up to 24.
And Samuel said to all the people, see you him whom Yahuwah have chosen, that none like him among all the people. And all the people shouted and said, Alahym, save the king. Then Samuel told the people the manner of the kingdom.
Tell them the what?
The manner of the kingdom, and wrote in the book, and laid up before Yahuwah. And Samuel sent all the people away, every man to his house. And Saul also went home to Gibeah, and there went with him a band of men whose hearts Alahym had touched. But the children of Belial said, how shall this man save us?
How shall this man what?
Save us. And they despised him.
They hated him.
And brought him no presents, but he held his shalom.
Tell him what a present is, man. Let's see what it is they ain't bring.
It's menkah, a gift, a tribute, an offering.
A what? A tribute. An offering.
A sacrifice.
A sacrifice. This is what they ain't bringing. Romans 12 and 1. Because they despised him. You know, that go back to what I was telling y'all before, man, when you know what I'm talking about, hey, man, you got to kick down. How you going to have a king and you don't kick down? Don't even make sense. What you got going on over there? Glory. Glory. Hallelujah. Ain't no chocolate over there. The lie detector test has determined. Don't you y'all done notice since Maury retired, boy, and Jerry had to become a judge, they don't even do them type of shows no more. Look at the Lord. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't even be in the house if they did. Oh, you know, Steve been going. But I say he was still, because he was doing it and Jared and Maury was still going. So he kind of. Oh, that's what they do. Yeah, but they jump more serious though. It ain't niggerish. I know they got some sissy who be doing it. You know what I'm talking about? He be doing some junk talking about we gonna unlock your phone. Type of nigga go on TV for a nigga to search through their phone. That's some dumb. Let me move on. Come on.
It said, I beseech you, therefore,
Shalom,
brethren, by the mercies of Alahym, that you present your body as a living sacrifice, Kadash, acceptable unto Alahym.
You present your body a what?
A Kadash sacrifice.
Now remember, right? He said, who was these men who said they wouldn't come bring him no present? Men of Belial, worthless men. Do you know some of the things that the text state about these worthless men? What type of conduct these men participate in? Men of Belial are idolaters. Men of Belial are blasphemers. Men of Belial are false witnesses. If you remember the story from the bar, that's who Jezebel went and got, some men of Belial, worthless men. Now, you know why I'm mentioning this here? Because those men who was in Israel at that time, these were men who were in Israel in 1 Samuel, wasn't it, that said they wasn't going to bring this man no present, right? Every time you see a son of Belial mentioned in the text, them be Israelites. He ain't talking about no other group of people. Worthless, vile men. Go back to Samuel, man, and tell them what Belial mean by definition, man, just in case they don't forget.
Belial is worthlessness, worthless, good for nothing, unprofitable, a base fellow, wicked.
A base fellow, wicked, good for nothing. Good for nothing. No good, rotten, dirty back scoundrel. That's funny to you? You know how bad of an individual you got to be for somebody to call you a scoundrel? You don't want to be no man of Belial, man. It ain't worth it. Get 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14, just on general principle. We talked about it a while back because everybody like to see that you need to be equally yoked. People be taking this man word and try to integrate it in everything. I told you I seen the heifer say, why you want to be modern, be traditional? You need to get with these modern times. Man, in modern times, men think they women and women think they men. I think I want to stand. But at the same token, you do have to accept that this is not your, I didn't even say your granddaddy, because some of y'all granddaddy don't come from that time period either. This ain't your great granddaddy generation of men and women, man. And it's not their world either. So to try to hold people to a standard that don't exist, it's going to be quite difficult for you if you're not dealing with the word. You know what I'm talking about? And even with that one, y'all know what he said in Jeremiah, right? He told you to seek what paths? The ancient paths. And you'll find rest for your souls. But what did it say the people said? We ain't going. Get it for them. Jeremiah 6:16. Read what you got, though.
Be you not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness?
What fellowship have what?
Righteousness with unrighteousness.
See, that's what I was telling y'all about. Well, you just can't just be unifying with people just to unify with people. That man say what? Fellowship have what?
Righteousness with unrighteousness.
Before you go any further, man, read Psalm 94 and 22, just so they can get a little background on out the text. If they say, I don't take Paul's letters, I just seen somebody say there's no record to prove that Paul was an Israelite. This is what you niggas do in your spare time? That's a shame. Psalm 94 and 22.
It says, but Yahuwah is my defense, and Alahym, the rock of my refuge. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity and shall cut them off as in their own wickedness.
Hold on, that ain't what you need. I think I might have told you the wrong thing. Shalom, man. Lee, you out here hiding, Lee. I'm gonna tell you in a second, son. So, yeah, I would have you in the right, but I just had you to 94 and 16, I suppose. Psalms 94 and 16.
It says, who will rise up for me against the evildoer?
That's right.
Who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Tell them what an evildoer is. Then tell them what a work of iniquity is.
That's Ra'ah.
That's an evil man. Disagreeable fella.
And iniquity or workers? You said workers?
Yeah, workers of iniquity, the whole thing.
Workers is palal. That means to do, to commit, to practice.
Somebody that like to practice. You know how much practice you got to do to perform iniquity? To perfect that, use a hell of a nigga.
And then Avan is
I am not.
Mischief, iniquity, false, idol, unrighteousness.
Vanity. So that's people who like to practice vanity and unrighteousness. Keep on going.
Unless Yahuwah My help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence.
Mm-hmm.
When I said my foot slippeth, thy mercy, O Yahuwah, has held me up.
You help me up.
In the multitude of my thoughts within me, my comforts delight in your soul.
Mm-hmm.
Delight my soul. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with you?
Shall the what?
Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with you?
My man ain't fooling with you wicked people, boy. Is that a question that he asking?
Mm-hmm.
Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with you? Tell him what fellowship means.
Kabar, to join, to couple together, a compact.
You think this man coupling together with that? Because he care about what blood pumping through your veins? Because he care about you say you see, you know what this is, right? And I know what brothers mean when they say put stuff to the side. They talking about doctrine. Unfortunately, in these days and times, people equate doctrine with the principles that you actually live by. You know what I'm talking about? See, if you believe a Sabbath start in the daytime and I don't, I'm not quibbling over that. That's not, oh, I can't fool with him. See, you's a weirdo. See, we talking about fundamental principles that you stand on. You can't put that to the side, my G. We ain't talking about you believe in 5 wives and I don't. You know what I'm talking about? I know that's what brothers really be talking about when they say put doctrine to the side. See, that's little kid stuff, because that means y'all just sitting around quibbling over any and everything because you niggas weird. I'm talking about, I'm a man, bro. I live by and stand by certain things, boy. I'm not putting that to the side to do something with a nigga. Because Yahuwah not doing it. So why you asking me to do it? Let me ask y'all this question. Where you ever seen Yahuwah say to anybody, put this to the side and come together? Or did he tell the people they had to be united in one? See, let me show it to you out the text. Get it for them. Jeremiah 24, man. Jeremiah 24. See, I'm trying to lead to something in 1 Samuel 11. I know it sounds harsh, but it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. I'm going to tell you what verse I want. Because I might have you in the wrong chapter. I do this. I skip over that one there quite a lot on the radio. Joanne, I hear you. It might be 23. Joanne, I hear you. I hear that baby. I know it. Yeah, that was right. Jeremiah 32. 32 and 36. Jeremiah 32 and 36. Listen to what he say.
And now, therefore, thus saith Yahuwah, the Alahym of Yasharal, concerning this city, whereof you say it shall be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. Behold, I will gather them out of all countries, where I have driven them in my anger, and in my fury, and in great wrath. And I will bring them again unto this place, and I will cause them to dwell safely.
That's right.
And they shall be my people, and I will be their Alahym.
What else he say?
And I will give them one heart.
He'll give him what?
One heart.
Give him what?
One heart.
And one what else?
One way.
One what?
One way.
That they might do what?
May fear me forever.
That man said one heart and one way. You can't put nothing to the side and come together in the man. Or you just call this man a liar. Read it at verse 39 again.
And I will give them one heart and one way.
Tell them what one heart is, man. That's a card layup now. That's one mind now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a card to rock. That's one way of living. See, we get caught up on the doctrine tip. We're not talking about doctrine, man. It's your fundamental principles that who you are and what you stand for. If you ain't got no fundamental principles of what you stand for, what you really got going on? Go back to 2 Corinthians 6 and 14. Maybe that'll make that sift through a little stronger for you.
Be you not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
With what?
With unbelievers.
With what?
Unbelievers.
Okay.
For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness?
Do you understand that he just said somebody who don't believe is unrighteous? Uh-oh.
And what communion have light with darkness?
What agreement light got with darkness? Come on.
And what concord have a Mashiach with Belial?
So how in the world is Alahym going to have concord? Tell them what concord is, or oneness, with something that's good for nothing.
Concord is concord or agreement.
How you going to be agreed with something that's good for nothing? Go ahead.
Or what part have he that believe with an infidel?
How you gonna have part with an idolater?
And what agreement have the temple of Alahym with idols?
With who?
With idols.
What he said though.
For you are the temple of the living Alahym. As Alahym have said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their Alahym, and they shall be my people.
That's good. Quran says someone tell him that the Messiah ain't Yahushua. That's a deal breaker for him personally. And I understand. You know what I'm talking about? I understand. And I know both sides of the coin, right? Because you'll have people who don't believe in Mashiach, but still look at it like our people above all. Then you got people who believe in Mashiach and they feel like it's their job to convince these other people to believe in the man. Then you got individuals such as myself. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm talking about? And what I mean by that, because it's niggas who say they believe in Mashiach and they might as well don't believe in it. You know what I'm talking about? Because they ain't no better than the people who they trying to convince to believe on them. They in the same state. When more than anything, people need to be more exemplary of the faith of a Mashiach that they proclaim to hold. Because, I mean, truth be told, you ain't, most of the time, man, when you run across somebody who don't believe in Mashiach, bro, they so used to people trying to convince them to believe in Mashiach that they always ready for a battle or an intensity of contention. And I ain't coming with that because, number one, I don't really ask. So when I find out, usually what an individual ends up happening is if they see you really stand for that for real, they'll probably just start fooling with you. Because I ain't never really met too many people in person who ain't believe in Mashiach. Anybody that's really just niggas online, and it's really just dudes who like to debate. You know what I'm saying? I bet you can't prove him. Where is it mention him? This to be the favorite one. Show me where they say his name. I just like, you know what? I'm gonna leave, man. You know what I'm talking? This nigga's dumb. But nevertheless, what was we holding, man? Nothing. 1 Samuel 11. Oh yeah, Jeremiah 60:16.
It says, thus said Yahuwah, stand ye in the ways and seek and ask for the old path.
He said, do what now?
Seek and ask for the old path.
Tell him what the old path is, man.
Old is Olam.
That's of antiquity, long duration.
That's for old. And then path is Nathib. That is a track, a beaten track, a way, a travel way.
A beaten path. A road that's been walked down before.
Right on.
That's what he's telling you. Go ahead.
Where the good way and walk therein, and you shall find rest for your soul.
But what they said?
But they said, we will not walk.
We will not what?
We will not walk.
Why?
Also, I set watchmen over you.
That's good. The people hard-headed said, we don't want to go that. We want to go a new way. That make me feel better. That's a new path. It's better than that. Now, ain't that what the Lord told you? Can't put new wine. Well, old wine is going to burst the bottle. You straightway say the old is better. They say the old way better. I want the new stuff. That's what they say. Come over here, man. I got it. 1 Samuel chapter 11. I'm going to pick it up at verse 11. And it was on the morrow that Saul put the people in 3 companies. And they came into the midst of the host of the morning watch and slew the Ammonites until the heat of the day. And it came to pass that they remained, which was sacrificed, or scattered, so that 2 of them were not left together. And the people said unto Samuel, who he that said, shall Shaul reign over us? Bring them in that we may put them to death. Shaul said, there shall not a man be put to death this day. For today, Yahuwah worked salvation in Yasharal. Then said Samuel to the people, come, let us go to Gilgal and renew the kingdom there. And all the people went to Gilgal, and they made Shaul king before Yahuwah in Gilgal. And there they sacrificed sacrifices of peace offerings before Yahuwah. And there Saul and all the men of Yasharal rejoiced greatly. Now, I came to this part because of the aspect of renewing the kingdom. So you know what the word renew is, right? That's Kadash. You should already know that. But tell them what word for kingdom is used here.
Melukah, kingship, royalty, a kingly
So notice that. So again, it's that same word, right? It ain't Malkuth, it ain't dominion and rule. He said that we're going to renew or make new the king's office because the king's office never existed before Saul. So if we're going to renew the king's office, we need to look at some things. And I mentioned this last night and we didn't get to it, but we finna get to it right now. Proverbs 31:1. See, this Proverbs 31:1 is something that dudes like to say, see, women teach, look at this. I say this because I've experienced that before, and I was like, well, sir. I actually had a man tell me Miriam taught Moses. I said, you know what? I need to leave this conversation. I need to exit the chat. This nigga's crazy. Proverbs 31:1.
It said the words of the Malak Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him.
Now I want you to look at prophecy and look at the word, because it ain't the regular word for prophecy.
Masah.
That ain't the regular word for prophecy. What does it mean?
Tribute. A burden.
A what?
A burden.
A burden. Go ahead. It's more.
It's a porterage, utterance, singing, desire, burden to carry.
So what it basically says is, this is the prophecy or the burden or the word that his mama taught him. Not that she taught him no word like a prophecy. Because there's another word for prophecy and it means exactly that.
Yeah.
Prophecy.
It's a song, a singing. Yeah, like you said, a word of giving her token to him.
Mm-hmm.
Take this with you.
Oh, Quran said, yeah, take this with you. Quran said, I had a sister try to say Mary Magdalene was an apostle. They all say that. But you know why they say that? Because most people don't know what an apostle is. We just heard a lady yesterday talking about, see, you know, Phoebe, she was a deaconess. I say, come on. But that's regular Christian teaching. I'm going to tell y'all something, man. I told Civic this here. I told Jim this here too, right? I don't know if I ever said this on camera. I'm going to say it now. From my personal experience, I'm not saying that this is overwhelmingly the actual fact or sweeping. My personal experience, every woman I ever seen, shalom, Brother Francis, that was a deaconess was an ex-slut or a big fat woman who couldn't get no man. You know what I'm talking about? Every time I done seen a woman who talking about, I'm a deaconess. Oh, that's a woman can't get no man. See, they take that definition because one of it in Greek means pastor or teacher, but they overlook the main definition, which literally means somebody who serves tables. Because dude tried to use that when we had that debate years back. I say, so brother, in Luke 8, when it said those men ministered to Yahushua of his substance, you telling me them women taught him? Is that what you telling me? So you just seen deaconos, so you just ran and said that's a teacher. Then I asked the man this simple question. I say, brother, where can you get a witness in the Old Testament of a woman doing what you saying this woman is doing? You don't need no Old Testament. I say, yeah, I'm gone. I'm out. I'm going to check on out of this debate. You know what I'm saying? Because this individual is crazy. You know what I'm saying? There is no such office as a deaconess because there's no qualifications for the office of a deaconess. Because if you're going to use that same word, deaconosis, then you're going to have to look at the definition of a deacon in Timothy, and she's disqualified.
It ain't the same word.
I already know it ain't the same word. But if it was, I'm saying this, let's look at the qualifications. How's she going to be the husband of one wife? How? And I'm not mentioning this to poke at no women. I'm mentioning this on the fact that people don't even know that these jobs have qualifications. I just had a conversation with a dude. He talking about that the same thing I told you about he was talking about Timothy. And he was like an elder. I'm like, bro, the word for elder and the word for elder in regards to a pastor are two different words. So you can be an elder and not be a pastor. You know what I'm talking about? Because they look at that when they say elder, to do say, ain't no such thing as bishop. I'm like, bro, it means overseer in Greek. You can go in here in Hebrew and get the equivalent, bro. That's somebody over an assembly of people. And there's a qualification for that. Well, Paul would be disqualified because he wasn't married. Paul's not a bishop. So you got people, they don't know what qualifies somebody to be a pastor. They don't know what qualifies somebody to be a teacher. They don't know if a man's an apostle. They don't know how a man is a prophet. They don't know any of this. This is what I meant when I was telling y'all last night. It's a lot of people deal with this word and they don't know what's in it. Dude didn't know pastor is Rob. You literally seen Moses pray for Yahuwah to do what in number 27? What he prayed for the man to do? Set of a man over the congregation. That's the end of that. That's what a pastor is. And he literally said a shepherd. That's what a shepherd is. Remember, but a preacher is different than a pastor. See, the qualifications for a preacher, really the qualifications for a pastor and a deacon is pretty much the same. You know what I'm saying? And a preacher is pretty much the same as a teacher. So the qualifications for him is the same. But you don't got to be married to be no apostle. And you ain't got to be married to be no prophet. But then people don't know that's a God-given instruction. So then they'll say, well, Mary Magdalene was an apostle. So when this man was teaching that the whole book was about him, where was she at? You think because he told her to go tell his brothers that he resurrected from the dead, that that's apostleship? You don't even know what an apostle is at that point. Say he heard a dude say a prophet and apostle is the same thing. To a certain extent, they are. They differ in one varying point. One has the testimony of Yahusha and one doesn't. The reason why they one and the same because the test is similar is because the testimony of Yahusha is the Ruach of prophecy. So when you actually are administering the testimony of Yahusha, effectively you are prophesying, but you're not receiving the prophecy the way that an actual prophet would be, because Yahuwah have to appear to you in a vision or a dream. I ain't saying this stuff just to be poking at people. You would need to know if you see people and they claim a title, you would need to know how does he even qualify for that job? Because just because you old don't mean you're supposed to teach. That's never how they, if you want to talk about ancient Israel and Hebrew custom, let's be real. The only people who taught was Levites. It wasn't random niggas at their house teaching no word, man. That's not what happened. But see, we don't like to talk about that because we like to do things that's going to fit the narrative that we want to fit, to justify ourselves and what it is that we doing. Because remember, what did Solomon say? Because the preacher was what? Wise. He sought out many proverbs to set him in order. You know what I'm saying?
I see why. You ain't gonna be able to move a nigga off that, though. Off that.
What a deaconess? No, you ain't gonna be able to move. They locked in with that.
I see it. I see the whole.
Yeah, they locked in with that. Because when the dude first said it, I say, bro, deaconess ain't even in the book. You gotta look at the Greek. I say, okay, so she a lesbian? Oh, it was all of it, man. The Quran just asked, was it the Levites that taught or just the priests? But you know, it tell you the Levites who taught the good law of Yahuwah. You'd have to remember that Aaron and them are Levites too. So sometimes when they say Levites, it's not just separating those who were not of the seed of Aaron. You know what I'm saying? The seed of Aaron only pertained to the most Kadash things as it pertains to the offering of sacrifices. So mainly things that pertain to Day of Atonement or anything that caused where they had to go inside the veil. Only Aaron's seed could go inside the veil. You know what I'm saying? The rest of the Levites, they couldn't do that.
Just for clarification, even with like the Levites having to be a certain age, they weren't teaching before they were 32, right?
No, it's 30. Probably not.
30. Yeah.
They might have not even been working in the temple.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? But let me show you the passage of what I'm talking about. Come over here to Chronicle. Dang. I gotta find which one it is.
It just made me thinking about Elah.
I want to say, give me First Chronicles 15:1 first and foremost. And get Second Chronicles 17. You can pick it up at verse 1. First Chronicles 15:1.
And made him houses in the city of David and prepared a place for the ark of Alahym and pitched it for a tent.
It might be Second Chronicles 15. That don't sound like what I want. Second Chronicles 15. Tell me what that says. Yeah, Second Chronicles 15. What I want.
It's saying the Ruach Alahym came unto Azariah the son of Obed, and he went out to meet Asa and said unto him, hear me, Asa, and all Yehuda and Benjamin, Yahuwah with you while you be with him. And if you seek him, he will be found of you. But if you forsake him, he will forsake you.
Go ahead.
Not for a long season, Yasharal, without the true Alahym and without a teaching priest.
Without a what?
A teaching priest.
Without a what?
A teaching priest.
Tell them what priest is right there, man.
Kohen.
So y'all already know that. And who did that pertain to? Y'all know who that pertained to. Come on. Go ahead.
It said, and without law. But when they in their trouble did turn unto Yahuwah Alahym and Yasharal and sought him, he was found of them.
I got the 2 Chronicles 17, Sylvia. You could get 2 Chronicles 30 and about verse 15. 2 Chronicles chapter 17 and verse 1. Jehoshaphat, his son, reigned in his stead and strengthened himself against Yasharal. He placed forces in all the fenced cities of Yehuda and set garrisons in the land of Yehuda and in the cities of Ephraim, which Asa his father had taken. Yahuwah was with Jehoshaphat because he walked in the first ways of his father David and sought not unto Balaam, but sought to Alahym of his Abba, and walked in his commandments not after the doings of Yasharal. Therefore Yahuwah established the Malkuth in his hand. All Yehuda brought to Jehoshaphat presents, and he had riches and honor and abundance. You see what they came and brought him? See, that's what you're supposed to do to the king. You're supposed to come bring an offering to the king. People don't want to hear that. And his heart was lifted up in the ways of Yahuwah. Moreover, he took away the high places and the groves out of the Yehuda. And in the 3rd year of his reign, he sent to his princes, even to Ben-Hel, and to Obadiah, and to Zechariah, and to Nethanel, and to Micaiah, to teach in the cities of Yehuda. Look who he sent with him. And he sent them Levites, Shemaiah, Ashel, Shemiramoth, Jehonathan, Adoniah, Tobiah, the Levites, and with them Elishama and Yehoram, the priests. And they taught in Yehuda the book of the law of Yahuwah with them, and they went throughout all the cities of Yehuda and taught the people. And the fear of Yahuwah was upon all the kings of the land that were round about Yehuda, so that they made no war against Jehoshaphat. And what do you look at, right? Number one, you see your elements of the choosing of the apostles, sending them out to teach in Yehuda. But who was that were going to do the teaching? Levites and priests, not regular people. He just didn't pick some dudes up off the street. See, this man got an order in how he want to operate things. Now, with the priesthood of Melchizedek, you don't have to have a tribe affiliation to preach the word. You have to qualify for the job. And you got to be a brew, just to keep it a buck. You know what I'm talking about? A stranger can't teach us no word, man. You know what I'm talking about? I know a lot of dudes see that, and you might see congregations, and they got Gentile teaching the word. No disrespect. I'm not sitting nowhere with no Gentile finna teach me about my God. That's just not finna happen. You know why that's not gonna happen? Because who gonna come to your house and tell you about your daddy? You're not finna let. And get what? If a Gentile nation was the people, then there's no way that I can sit down and tell them that I'm gonna teach them about their daddy. That's not that we can't converse and fellowship about it. That's a different, because you're talking about an authoritative position. And nowhere in the history of Yasharal has somebody been of another nationality had an authoritative position over a brew, and the brews weren't in captivity. Because the book says Zechariah 8 and 23, what? Who knows what Zechariah 8 and 23 say on top of their head? Zechariah 8 and 23. Get it for them. See if you could pick it up right in verse 13. You know what? Pick it up in verse 12 in 2 Chronicles 30 when we get there. Zechariah 8 and 23.
It say, yea, many people and strong nations have come to seek Yahuwah of the host of Jerusalem and to pray before Yahuwah. Thus said Yahuwah of hosts in those days that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall they take hold of the skirt of him that is a Yahudim.
Skirt of him that is a who?
A Yahudim.
And say what?
We will go with you.
Because we heard what?
That Alahym is with you.
That's all that is, man. No disrespect. I mean no disrespect. But I got to go with what the book say. Because we already know books say that the king of Yasharal can't be of another nationality. And it's the king who send out the noblemen to execute authority. And the book tell you in Jeremiah 30 that all the nobles and governors will be of yourself. That's just how that goes. There's no disrespect. It is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? Come over here, man. 2 Chronicles chapter 30, man. Give him verse 12.
Also in Yehuda, the hand of Alahym was
matter of fact, make it 8, man, on general principle.
Now be you not stiff-necked as your fathers, yield yourselves unto Yahuwah.
Do what?
Yield yourselves unto Yahuwah.
And enter where?
Into a sanctuary.
Which he what?
Have sanctified forever.
All you need to do is stop being hard-headed and enter into Mashiach. He done set it apart.
and serve Yahuwah
Hold on,
Alahym.
tell him what yield mean, man.
That's Nathan. That's to give, to put, to set, to bestow, to yield.
Give yourself over to your God. Go ahead. Verse 9, 2 Chronicles 30.
For if you turn again unto Yahuwah, your brethren and your children,
Will have
before
what?
them that lead them captive, so that they shall come again. Oh,
You
I
skipped.
skipped it. Yeah. Your brethren and your children, compassion, before them that lead them captive,
So that they what?
so that they shall come again into the land.
For Yahuwah your Alahym is what?
Gracious and merciful.
He's what?
Gracious and
Now
merciful.
that takes us right back to Exodus 34, don't it? Because we're dealing with the aspect of you talking about where the power in his kingdom is. The power in his kingdom is in the declaration of his name. And the declaration of his name is who he is, and that's where the power's at. Go ahead.
And will not turn away face from you if you return unto him.
Mm-hmm.
So the post passed from city to city through the country of Ephraim and Manasseh, even unto Zebulun.
And what they do?
But they laughed them to scorn and mocked them.
So when they came to people to teach the word, they went to mocking these men. But you the one in danger. Come on, man.
Nevertheless, diverse of Asher and Manasseh and of Zebulun humbled themselves and came to Jerusalem.
Also,
And Yehuda, the hand of Alahym,
was given to do what?
one heart.
To give him what?
One heart.
Give him what?
One heart.
Okay.
To do the commandment of the king and of the princes by the word of Yahuwah. And there assembled at Jerusalem
All right.
much people to keep the feast of unleavened bread in the second month, a very great congregation.
Go ahead.
And they arose and took away the altars that in Jerusalem, and all the altars for incense took they away and cast into the brook Kidron.
Come on.
Then they killed the Passover on the 14th of the second month, and the priests and the Levites were ashamed and sanctified themselves and brought in the burnt offerings into the house of Yahuwah.
And they stood where?
And their place after their manner, according to the law of Moses.
The man of Alahym.
The priest sprinkled the blood of the hand of the Levites.
Go ahead.
For many in the
Now you notice that, right? When you see that sacrifice, who had to make it? The priest. That's why they give you the separation. When you see priests, that's Aaron's seed. You know what I'm talking about? Just because you see priests, shalom, Sister Kelly. Just because you see priests doesn't necessarily mean it's talking about Levites. That's Aaron's seed. Go ahead.
For many in the congregation that were not sanctified, therefore the Levites had the charge of the killing of the Passovers for everyone not clean, to sanctify unto Yahuwah. For a multitude of the people, many of Ephraim and Manasseh, Issachar, Zebulun, had not cleansed themselves.
Yet
did they eat the Passover, otherwise than it was written.
But Hezekiah prayed for them, saying,
the good Yahuwah pardon everyone.
See, you know what that is? I will forgive them. They know not what they do. Go ahead.
Prepare his
But
heart.
hold on, pause. But again, this is showing you the other aspect that the mercy is with Yahuwah and not with the law, because the law said they couldn't have done that. The same way the law said David wasn't supposed to get the shewbread. Go ahead.
Prepare his heart to seek Alahym for Yahuwah Alahym of his fathers, though not according to the purification of the sanctuary.
Yahuwah.
Hearken to Hezekiah.
Now, ain't that something? The book say Yahuwah listened to him and did what?
Healed the people.
Tell him what healed mean, man. See, that's what you talking about when we ended in that Romans 2, where he said that the ruach of the law and not the letter. See, if you'd have dealt with a lot of brews with the letter, they wouldn't have done what Hezekiah did. And say, y'all go ahead, man. I'm going to pray to Yahuwah that he pardon y'all.
That's Rafah. To heal,
To
to
heal.
make healthful.
Don't you realize that all of us were unclean according to the purification of the sanctuary? But this man prayed for you that you might be accepted.
Yeah, that's to make whole.
We don't want to hear that. Ain't Yahushua come to make you whole? We don't be wanting that because we don't know our God. Verse 20 one more time.
And Yahuwah hearkened to Hezekiah and healed the people. And the children of Yasharal that were present at Jerusalem kept the feast of unleavened bread
7 days.
with great gladness.
And the Levites
And the priests praised Yahuwah day by day
with loud
instruments unto Yahuwah.
And it said that Hezekiah did what?
Spake comfortably.
Tell him what spake comfortably means. Shalom, bro. Let's see if it's the same thing like in Hosea.
Spake is the bar. And then comfortably is led.
Same thing that was in Hosea chapter 2. That means he spoke to their heart. He spoke to their inner man. That's the same thing you see in Hosea 2 when he say, I speak comfortably to her. See, this is stuff that, never mind. Read it again from the top. Verse 22.
And Hezekiah spake comfortably unto all that taught the good knowledge of Yahuwah.
All the Levites that did what?
That taught the good knowledge of Yahuwah.
Oh, so I guess maybe so Manasseh taught it.
The Levites.
So Judah taught it.
It's Levites.
Asher?
All the Levites.
Maybe Benjamin.
It's all the Levites.
Come on, man. I could have sworn that said Naphtali. He didn't say Dan?
All the Levites.
Read verse 22 one more time.
And Hezekiah spake comfortably unto all the Levites that taught the good knowledge of Alahym, of Yahuwah, and they did eat throughout the feast 7 days, offering peace offerings and making confession to Yahuwah Alahym of their fathers.
One more for the road, man. Malachi 2 and 4. So and I'm doing that because Quran asked that question. The priests and the Levites, Quran could teach the word, like I said, because they all Levites. But the priests are the ones who actually do the offering of the sacrifices that the Levites can't do. See, I'm not going to go to the other part. When you look in the book of Ezra and Nehemiah, Nehemiah was up there with Ezra, but that wasn't Nehemiah up there teaching. That was Ezra up there teaching. And everybody who was up there with Ezra was what? Levites. Every one of them. That's why they get that genealogy of them Levites in the book of Ezra, and they say, hey man, if we can't find you in the genealogy, boy, you polluted, you can't come up here.
But the high priest is only from the seed of Aaron.
Only from Aaron. See, you could be a Levite and not be from Aaron,
Right.
but you can't be from Aaron and not be a Levite. That ain't even work.
Right.
See, a lot of brews, they try to jam stuff together. No, man, that ain't how that works. That's why I told you that, man. Oh, no doubt, Ron. That's why I told you, bro, a lot of niggas don't know what the hell they be talking about, man. And this ain't even deep information, bro. This is taking your time to actually know what the book's saying. Because you just read what Hezekiah, what Jehoshaphat's son, Levites. You seen Hezekiah, let me speak to the heart of them who gonna teach the word. And you know what that referred to? That show you how Yahushua operate with everybody who gonna go teach in his name. Because I'm gonna speak to your heart before I send you out here. That's why John 13 and 20 say what it say, whosoever receive whomever I send, receive me. And each time you seen kings sending priests to teach, because kings are over the whole play, which is why you get to deal with Melchizedek, because now you got a king and he the high priest at the same time.
They said he sent the princes with the Levites.
Yeah, he sent the rulers out there with him, because the rulers are directing them.
Right.
See, the rulers are representative with the Levites. The rulers are representative of the apostles because the apostles over everybody. But see, you can't tell that to no Brews, though. Brews will have a problem with that. If somebody was really an apostle, that man got authority over every assembly he go to, whether he started it or not.
That's what that nigga ain't like.
Yeah, I know he ain't like it. Because what you mean? What you mean, nigga? That's the #1 office in the body. Because God sent him to do it, you jackass. How you going to be a random nigga and start a congregation you ain't got no work? You can't start a congregation with laws in Israelite. That was here before you got here, damn it. Malachi 2 and 4, man.
It says, and you shall know that I have sent this commandment unto you, that my covenant might be with Levi, saith Yahuwah of hosts. My covenant was with him of life and shalom, and I gave them to him for the fear wherewith he feared me and was afraid before my name. Mm-hmm. And the law of truth was in his mouth.
The law of what was in his mouth?
The law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in shalom, equity, and did turn many away from iniquity.
For the priest's lips
should keep knowledge.
Who he said? The priest?
The priest's lips
should do what?
Keep knowledge.
And the people should do what?
Seek the law at his mouth.
Why?
For he is the messenger of Yahuwah of hosts. That's right.
Who say the lips should keep knowledge?
The priest's lips.
See, that's why people kill. See, this. Let me show you. Let me show you the hypocrisy, Nick. You turn around and say that ain't no Levites out here, so anybody can teach the word. But then turn around and say ain't tithes ain't nothing but for the Levites. But your law say if you can't prove you a Levite, you can't teach. Nigga, which one is it? You confused. You all over the place. Don't make no damn sense. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, let me get John 17 and 20, man, before we go back to Proverbs 31. I got something else to work in, man. Maybe we'll get there, maybe we won't. You know what? Don't read John 17, because if I don't get there, then that just was a random passage that ain't had nothing to do with nothing. Back to Proverbs 31:1.
So you don't want John 17.
Nah, I said Luke 17, but nah, it's gonna be irrelevant if I don't go in that direction. Proverbs 31:1 one more time.
It said the words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him.
So remember, when you see prophecy there, it's a burden. It's the burden that she giving him. Burden meaning responsibility, the load he got to carry. We were looking at you got to renew the kingdom. You got to kadash the king's office, the judgment of the kingdom, the word of the business of the king's office. Let's go to Deuteronomy 17 that everybody like to look at for the king's office. I believe it's 17 and 17.
Neither shall he multiply wives to himself.
So you got to back that up. We got to get it from the opening, from the beginning of what we need. Let me see, because it ain't everything. 14. Deuteronomy 17 and 14.
When you are come unto the land which Yahuwah Alahym give you, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that about me. You shall in any wise set a king over you.
Whom what?
Yahuwah Alahym shall choose.
So guess what? Yasharal can't pick a king. Let that be known. I don't care what you niggas go to thinking about, feeling about. You can't pick no Malku, no Malik over nothing. So that means you can't go nowhere and create your own kingdom and build your own kingdom, because you can't pick the king. And never in the history of Yasharal did, that's right, Quran, you got to be anointed, did the people pick the king. Yahuwah went and chose Saul. You didn't choose Saul. You didn't choose David. You didn't choose Rehoboam, Jeroboam, Solomon. You know, because Solomon technically wasn't supposed to be king. You know that, right? Who was supposed to be king? No, it was Adonijah supposed to be king. He was the oldest brother. Yeah, you just can't go pick a king. Read it again for him, verse 15, man.
You shall in any wise set king over you, whom Yahuwah Alahym shall choose.
From among your what?
Your brethren.
From among your what?
Your brethren shall you set king over you.
You may not
set a stranger over you,
which is not
your brother.
Can't do it. Go ahead.
But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he should multiply horses. For as much Yahuwah have said unto you, you shall henceforth return no more that way.
Paul, so that's what it takes you when you see, he said, if the son shall set you free, you shall be free indeed. He can't take you back into bondage. He ain't going to lead you back into the bondage of Egypt, nor in the bondage of sin. King ain't going to do it. Why you think all the kings that you had before were so evil? They would take, whether they were physically taking you back into Egypt, they were taking you there anyway, because they were taking you to sin every time. See, that's what people don't be wanting to realize and understand, man. You know, the book tell you, a wicked doer take heed to naughty lips. And it also tell you if a king be wicked and all his servants is wicked. So you got to be careful with that, man. Does that mean if a king wicked that it won't be righteous people? No, that ain't the case. But then when you look at Ahab was evil as the day is long, boy. There was only 7,000 righteous men in that kingdom, boy. Now, I don't know how many people were dwelling in Yasharal at the time of Ahab, but 7,000 men ain't a lot of people, boy. Because if them were bruised, you know, just like I know, boy, they like to get off. You know what I'm talking about? There's a lot of things bruised like to do, get drunk and get off. You can see it all through the text. Salute, man. Shalom, bro. You see it all through the text, boy. Bruised like to do a lot of things, boy. That pick up some wine and see if she fine. That's what they like to do, man. Come on with it, bro.
Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away.
Neither shall he do what?
Greatly multiply to himself silver and gold.
He say he shouldn't multiply wives unless his what?
Heart turn not away. That his heart turn not away.
Now look at this here, right? This is going to tie into what King Lemuel's mother said to him. Hold on, Adonijah proclaimed himself. That's right. And then David announced Solomon. My youngest son said to me, Dad, do you think that points to how the beast will declare himself to be the king? Yes, indeed it does. Indeed it does. And I think we talked about that before, along with Absalom doing the same thing, moving like how the beast moving, trying to win the hearts of the people. All right. Smooth talker. You got to watch old Panda Bear. You got to watch somebody who like to tell you what you want to hear. Because the nigga who telling you what you want to hear, they finna talk you out your drawers. And the thing is, they ain't even got to do too much talking. They got to give it to you. I told you like this here, right? That's why all them women were mad with Derrick Jackson when it came out. Because this nigga was a living pimp. A living pimp. And you know the crazy part was? That nigga was dead honest with his pimping. I can respect it. But that nigga was selling these hoes a dream. You understand me? That nigga was Freddy Krueger. That nigga was selling dreams, boy. Man, you know this man's a millionaire, bro. One thing I done seen since this internet thing, boy, if you want to become a millionaire and make you a lot of money, tell lies to women, boy, they'll pay you. Tell me smooth thing, prophecy to me deceits. Don't speak to me right things. Keep your pockets full. Get it for him, Isaiah 30 on General Print. Did that add it?
Hey, boy. They say that, though. They just ain't had no internet.
Abby. That's what the baby calls mom.
Inside your pocket. What's in your wallet?
Because she can't say her name. Quran say, damn, son, I'm proud of you. Right now, he's 11. At that time, I had 8. Shoot, pray to God. I mean, just paying attention. And the Lord opened his brain because he was paying attention. Isaiah 30 and 1.
That'll do it too. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahuwah, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with the covering, but not of my ruach, that they may add sin to sin.
See, that's what you like to do. You like to do what Adam did. You want to go get a covering that ain't of Yahuwah, so you can go out here and sin. Go ahead.
That walk to go down to Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
What that mean? You like to go to man before you go to Yahuwah. That's your problem.
Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
That's right.
For his princes were at Zon, and his ambassadors came to Hanez. They were all ashamed of the people, that they could not profit them, nor be a help or profit, but a shame and also a reproach. The burden of the beasts of the south unto the land of trouble and anguish, from whence came the young and old lion, the viper, and the fiery flying serpent. They will carry their riches upon their shoulders of young asses, and their treasures upon the bunches of camels, to a people that shall not profit them. For the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore I have cried concerning this, their strength is to sit still.
Go ahead.
Now go write it before them in a table and note it in a book.
Note it in a what?
Note it in a book.
Put it in a book.
That it may be for a time to come forever and ever.
That's right.
That this rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahuwah.
He said, what type of children are they?
They are rebellious people, lying children.
You like to do what you want to do and you're telling lies.
Which say to the seers, see not.
Don't tell me no word.
And to the prophets, prophesy not.
Shut
unto
your
us
mouth.
Right thing.
Don't tell us nothing right.
Speak unto us smooth things.
Prophesy what?
Prophesy deceit.
Tell me what I want to hear. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. And guess what? That's what the people were telling the preachers to do. Ain't no strangers and Gentiles with this going on. I know I ain't supposed to be playing with this man's butt, but tell me a lie and make me feel like I'm okay with it. I literally seen a strange white man say, I can't wait till they come up with uterine transplants. So then what excuse will they have to say that we're not real women now if we can have a baby? Nigga, you had to get a woman's uterus. And I hope they do a uterine transplant and that nigga die. Right when he think he get pregnant. I want the Lord to let him show. And as he begin to show and the hormonal things go to changing in his body, that he drop dead and die right on the spot. You and your nigga baby. Because nigga, you's a homosexual. You got a woman's uterus for a man to climb on top of you and ejaculate in you. Do you understand how weird both you niggas is? And these white folks still out here talking about you not gay if you get with a transsexual woman. That is a man. That is a man. I don't give it. You're not going to make me believe he's a woman because he believes he a woman. That's a personal thing with him. Bro, these people out here want me to accept that you believe you a woman because you believe it. So if I walk in and say I'm the president of the United States, they supposed to accept that because I said it and make me stay at the Oval Office and give me power. Give me the classified doc. I want to press the red button. You know about the red button? That's in the missiles. I want to send some missiles, man.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. As soon as I get in there, I'm pressing the button. I want to see what's going to happen. Who died first? It was them Russians. Oh, well. That's how crazy people live, man. Bad to do. But you notice that part they say don't multiply wives because who that happened to? Give me Nehemiah 13, man. Nehemiah 13 and tell me what verse 6 say.
So, but in all this was not I at Jerusalem, for in the 2 and 13th year of our tax siege, king of Babylon came I unto the king, and after certain days obtained I leave of the king. Mm-hmm. And I came to Jerusalem and understood of the evil of Eliashib.
We don't want that. We don't want that. That's too much. You'll be reading for 25 days and 16 weeks. 13 to 21.
Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lied you about the wall? If you do again, I will lay hands on you.
I'm put hands on you, nigga.
From that time forth, they know more on the
Sabbath. What? You hear them talking, right? You supposed to be doing that. Nehemiah say, come around here selling on the Sabbath one more time, cuz. I'm put hands on you, boy. Put hands on you. But see, you can't do that because that's a different situation. Right. That's not two people. That's not two people having a disagreement. This y'all keep around here trying to call people to sin, and I done told you once, and I done told you twice. Stop bringing your funky behind around here. You come back around here again, cuz I take that as disrespect. What did he say? You know, I seen that clip the other day. I might have to watch that movie again. Listen, man, listen. You supposed to look that boy like this here, man. You throwing big words at me, and I don't know what they mean. So I'm gonna take him as disrespect. Watch your mouth and help me with the sale. You know what I'm talking about? And he like this here. You wanted Nehemiah like, man, stop being a nigga, be my nigga. Nigga here now. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga here now. That's what Nehemiah telling us. Nigga here now. You trying to play with me. You know what I'm talking about?
Trying to do great work.
I'm trying to do, hey, boy, come back round here, cuz I'm telling you. I respect it. I'm trying to make the sale. Man. Come on with it, man. Verse 21 one more time.
Then I testified against him and said unto them, why lied you about the wall?
See, then they dwelling there. They hanging out. Come on.
If you do again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth came they no more on the Shabbat.
They seen he wasn't playing. They ain't come around there no more.
And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, and they should come keep the gates to sanctify the Shabbat day. Remember me, O my Alahym, this also, and spare me according to the greatest of your mercy.
Listen what happened. In those days,
also saw I Yahudim.
Who married wives of who?
Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab.
And their children did what?
Spake half in the speech of Ashdod.
And could not speak in whose language?
Yahudim language.
But according to the who?
Language of each people.
So I did what?
And I contended with them.
And he did what?
Cursed them.
And what else he did?
He
slapped them niggas in the mouth.
And plucked off their hair and made them swear by Alahym. You shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons or for yourselves.
Now, you know why he did all that? Because them women were turning your hearts away. That's what he told you. Get to Deuteronomy 7 for those who don't know. Deuteronomy 7:1. It ain't the people, it's who they worship.
It says, when Yahuwah the Alahym shall bring thee into the land, whither you go to possess it, and
Shalom,
cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than you. And when Yahuwah the Alahym shall deliver them before you, you shall smite them and utterly destroy them, and shall make no covenant with them.
Make no covenant.
Nor show mercy unto them.
Kill them dead.
Neither shall thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter, you shall not give them a son, nor your daughter shall take to your son.
Why?
For they will turn away your son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yahuwah be kindled against.
That's the point. Now we're gonna get to this point why he tell kings not to multiply wives. Cause see, I'm gonna tell you something, man, that a lot of these niggas won't say. It is only a handful of men that have the mental and spiritual fortitude to not be influenced by a multitude of women. Most men get influenced to do things they ought not by one woman, much less if you got 4, 5 of them.
All over the place.
And we're going to read the passage. It's a passage that stings. And you got most dudes who know they finna go do something they ain't got no business doing to appease a woman. Look at all the stuff they put on the internet now. You got all these dudes talking, doing stuff, talking about to appease a woman. But none of that stuff gonna please God while you doing it. Yeah, she gonna be happy, but your God ain't. And it's not because you pleasing your woman, because the things that she gonna ask you to do 99.9% of the time is gonna be displeasing to your God, because she gonna want you to make her your God. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what you don't realize. Ain't nothing wrong with doing nothing for your old lady, but you have to lead from the front. And a lot of men don't do that. Quran says, especially if they all become friends, they be conspiring against you. Because, see, you got a lot of brews. They play this game right here. Yeah, I got multiple wives, but they don't live with me. They ain't your wife then. Now, they didn't necessarily say they had to live in the main house, but they'd have to be on the same compound. Hell, nigga ain't got a room. Nigga staying in the room and how talking about a wife. Nigga ain't no room for her in the room. They ain't gonna come out here, you know we gotta go 50-50 on the room rent. Nigga, what? Not that you fell on hard times, but this is where you starting out at, because you've been living here. Man, I'd seen another clip of ladies talking about, hey, they say, yeah, man, how much money you think your man need to make to be your husband? Man, this hoe said $350,000. Another chick say 1.5 million. One chick, she had to have a man in mind because she said 127,000. That's a very specific number. You know what I'm saying? So then they asked one chick, she say, well, baby, what's the average salary in America? She said, oh, it's got to be 250,000. That nigga was like, no, nigga, it's 42. She was like, we need to get it together, America. I said, yeah, she can't have no job.
Yeah, but I said she got to be broke. We got to get it together.
No, but I mentioned that because of the delusional fallacy in a lot of people's mind that, but the median income worldwide ain't that high. Man, in reality, man, most people make regular money, if you want to call it regular money. Most people don't make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of life. And what he was really pointing to is you got women in their 20s who looking down on young men in their 20s because they ain't got no money. He ain't supposed to have no money, ho. What's wrong with you? That's why these boys out here scamming and taking chances and doing all the stuff they doing, because what don't make it no better is his niggas who 35 and 40 putting pressure on them, talking about you supposed to be balling at 22. This nigga just graduated high school. How is he going to be balling? And then you got these women talking about he's a brokey. Who you broke to?
They say the average global income is around $12,235 per year.
That's tough. That man say the average global income is 12 bands.
That ain't no year, though, bro. That ain't no year.
You got to take into account that's the whole Earth's population. There's 7 billion people in the world, and everybody ain't getting money, boy. It's way more poor people in the earth than it is people who do with average income. Because that's right. Let's just look at it. All it really just shows is the economic prosperity that you could be able to attain in America, because the average income in America is under 50,000. Like 40 something. No, it's a woman's average income, at least a black woman, is like 40, 41 bands last time I seen something on it. And the average income for a black man was like 45, 46 or something like that.
We only used to account for first world countries.
Yeah, first world countries, yeah, it's a little bit different. But when you start factoring in everybody, $7 a day. And you know what the crazy part is? Them niggas in China, niggas in India,
It's a lot more than that.
niggas in Africa,
It is.
niggas in the Middle East. Them niggas ain't making nothing. And you know what the crazy part is? They way more happier with less than you is with what you get. They ain't walking around there looking ugly and balled up.
I think it's because. Yeah, it's certain systems in place.
They got to pay for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they look at our freedom, not understanding we so free. We don't. It's certain stuff.
No, they don't look at us and think we free. They look at us and think y'all niggas dumb. I don't want to go over there.
We got free healthcare over here. They don't think that.
Man, majority of them, they only
talking to them, but they trying to get here
for the money.
You see it.
They don't want to stay here.
I don't know. I'm just saying, niggas I talk to out the country, them niggas trying to get here and be here
for the money.
That's what we talking about.
But a lot of
broke. Talking about being broke. Yeah.
But I'm talking about it. But you got a lot of people in other countries. They could care less about the money. Culturally and societally, they don't want to be here.
I'm just saying, one of them they don't give a damn about what they at.
From the Quran say it's coming an average full-time wage.
Whatever reason.
In the U.S. is oh no, ain't nobody around here making no 75,000. Talking about no average wage in America. Who said that? That what Quran just put there in 2021. I tell you that right now.
That's a family.
That's a
family.
Yeah, that's combined household. That's two people working.
Yeah, very cool. Usually around 70,000. That's 35,000 a piece.
But it's the thing though, right? Then you get the people you get it complaining. Well, right. I gotta work and he don't pay all the bills. We don't live in a. That's not the world no more.
Yeah, because the traditional home, everybody was living off the 30.
You could live off the 30.
I'm just saying, you could.
Not in Joe Biden's America. You're gonna have to get out here and bust your gun to get it.
No,
I know that's probably a median household and not an individual.
No, but you're right, though.
Because the average individual in America, man, you know, the average white man in America make about 50 bands. Because you know this is the crazy part now, which a lot of people don't like to talk about. The white man does not have the highest median income in the country. As far as males is concerned. Do you know who has it?
Yeah, the Asian man.
The Indian man.
Yeah, Eastern man.
You know what I'm saying? That East Indian man, I think his average median income is a little shade under 70,000.
That's what I'm saying. They trying to get the freedom, bro. And not saying freedom because they getting stuff that we feel like, you know, the healthcare, the school, they get to do a lot of stuff for free, but they don't got the freedoms we got. That junk come with a price. They can't just get up and do what they want.
I mean, a lot of them they cool with doing what they want, but most foreigners they come over here about that bread, cause they don't want their kids over here. That's why a lot of them don't come over here with their children. You know what I'm talking about? Until they can get some junk solidified and set it in an environment that the child don't deviate from their culture. Cause I done been around too many of them. They be like, you know, it's cool, but my children are Americanized and I hate it. Cause they already know once your kids come over here, they gonna deviate from whatever culture you came from. You know what I'm saying? You got little Asian girls on OnlyFans. You know they don't raise their children like that. They don't do that. Asian, no, they don't do that. You got rogues. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, they don't do that because there's dishonor in the family. My daughter around here selling coochie pigs. Yeah, that's dishonorable to the family because the honoring of the family name is more important to them than money in general. You know what I'm saying? In America, money is the only important thing to us.
But I don't think this country is morally like that.
I mean, it's not morally. It's their culture. They have a government. They have a way of life. They have a rule that they've been in for hundreds of years, thousands of years for some of them. That's important to them. We don't have that, so that's not something that even click in our brain to even think about is maintaining the cultural norms. Like if you go to Iran, they got a way of living. They don't want to bend that for nobody. You know what I'm saying? You go to Saudi Arabia, that's why they come out. See, they got something, they call it sports washing. I only mention that because it's in my brain. They couldn't brain because like the WWE doing a show over there. You know, the Saudis want to have these sporting events to say, look at us, we more inclusive. Because they got a way of living that the rest of the world don't agree with, but they don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? The same way, you know, we were talking about today. If you go to Dubai, them women got to cover up. And they don't give a damn where you come from. And they don't give a damn who you is. But you're not walking around here with your arms out, your thighs out, your titties out. You're not doing that over here. Or we're going to lock you up.
Yeah, publicly.
You know what I'm saying? Same way in Thailand, it was some years back. Some white man got caught doing something. They caned this nigga. You know what I'm saying? They beat this nigga with a cane. You understand me? Americans like, oh, The same way when Brittany Garner got pinned, because they got a certain way of living, and they good with that because this is all that they know. So when you the older person and you come over here like somewhere in America where it's a free for all, oh no, you don't want your kids in that, man, because you know what's gonna happen.
But that's what I was saying, like we were talking about the westernizing, how America go and plant propaganda in these countries. This niggas who already deviate from that in them countries.
Yeah, it is, but that's why you hear them call America the Great Satan and fight back, because we don't want it. That's why both times they went to Afghanistan, that's why them Afghanis fought like that, because we don't want that over here. Keep that over there. See, we only get that other side of the fence when you hear from them people over there. They be like, nah, bro, we good on that. Y'all stay where y'all at.
Okay, like my man, this is the last thing, like my man with the beard friend, he from Iran, and he was like, his father paid so they can get away from that, because I guess whatever culture they was doing, they went with that, and this what they want.
You got some people
that's why I was saying,
see, but that's
I ain't never been. I'm just
like with him, like I said, like in Iran, it's a theocracy. So the religious leader is the one who run the country. So and them boys is with that, like it's straight Sharia law, Islam over there.
Right.
Then you got some of them niggas just like with Israel, niggas rebels. I want to do this. I want free. Let's go back to Egypt. That's what his daddy was. And get what you came on. You got some money, but you's a sinful bastard. You know what I'm talking about? Right. But see, they really to sacrifice what they receive righteous in their culture for money.
Right. And I was just thinking that's just leaking into other cultures. The moral aspect of it.
Yeah, but it wasn't just wanting to come to America, because the women over there, all it take is one nigga to rebel, it's spread. That's why Yahuwah said kill that nigga. Right. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm not talking about the aspect of every culture got their own culture. And people who locked into their culture, they don't want to come over. You know what I'm saying? If they do come over here, I didn't want to get some money.
The culture more important than the money.
The culture way more important than the money. Because they've already had it. Since we ain't never had no culture, the only thing we care about is money. No, I'm talking about in our generation and us being alive, our people don't have no culture. So all we care about is money. You know what I'm saying? A nigga will clap his booty cheeks wide open for some money. You know what I'm talking about? That's male or female. These dudes is out here doing pranks on the street where somebody might shoot and beat you up just to get a click for some money. You know what I'm saying? You got other cultures of men in other societies, they wouldn't dare dishonor themselves like that for some money. You know what I'm saying? Because the culture is more important. Us, that's what happens when you don't have a culture. When you don't have a way of living, you don't have no laws, you don't have no government. See, we just think it's just language, but it's a way of living. When you don't have a way of living, it's a free fall. Because you get to define what the way of living is. You know what I'm talking about? Because guess what? What we say, do it for the culture. And we talking about rapping and basketball. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no culture, because that ain't no way of living. Really, you basking in being somebody's high-paid employee. Because just like they were showing Trevor Ariza, because, you know, he say he going broke and he getting divorced, like he's a W-2 employee for the Los Angeles Lakers or whatever team he played on. Them niggas is W-2 employees. And he's just a high-paid employee. You know what I'm talking about? A rapper could be considered to be a high-paid employee, truth be told, on a record label. He's a W-2 employee. They might make them a 1099, but they still employees all the same. They do the same thing like they do the wrestlers. The wrestlers in the WWE are considered to be independent contractors, but yet they're treated like W-2 employees, but taxed like contractors. Quran said you can keep your central bank and your cocaine. So that cocaine already over there. Mm-hmm. In England.
No, good cocaine.
Good cocaine.
So let's go take it.
Hey, what is it? That's the royalty.
I mean, that's a little different to get it over there from where the good coke is at. It's easy to get it over here. It's coming from South and Central America. Easy to get it over here. You got to work a little harder to get it across that pond, like they like to say. They got shoot. They got whatever you want. Shoot, them niggas ain't got no guns, so hey, it's going down anyway. You walk up, I'm a knife you.
Sheathe my sword.
Sheathe my sword. I cannot return it without blood.
That's what I think about no guns.
Hey, boy, that nigga sold me when he said that. He said, I have sheaves in my sword. Oh, I know y'all got coke over there. I don't know if it's good quality. You know we got good. You know it's coke. It's drugs everywhere. George Bush ain't been dead that long.
Shit, they got dogs.
Now, all jokes aside, boy, the CIA gonna get that dope wherever it need to be. You know what I'm talking about?
Man, gonna get it.
Sure. I got metric tons.
Man, gonna get it.
Come on, man. 13 and 23. Nehemiah.
In those days also saw I Yahudim had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab, and their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Yahudim's language, but according to the language of each people.
And I what?
Contended with them and cursed them.
And did what?
And smote certain of them.
And did what?
Plucked off their hair.
And made them swear by who?
Alahym.
You shall not what?
Give your daughters unto their sons.
Nor
take their daughters unto your sons.
Or
for yourselves.
Did not
Solomon, king of Yasharal, sin by these things?
Did not Solomon do what?
Sin by these things?
Yet among many nations.
Was there no king like him?
Who was what?
Beloved of his Alahym.
And Alahym made him what?
King over all Yasharal.
Nevertheless, even him did.
Outlandish woman caused to sin.
Tell him what outlandish means.
Outlandish is not creed. That's foreign, alien.
Strange women. They get you in trouble. It said outlandish women call them to do what?
To sin.
Look, see what cause is, man. It's probably just an old adverb. I didn't want to see what it say.
Yeah, cause to sin is one phrase.
Mm-hmm.
So that's katal, to sin, to miss the way, to go wrong.
So strange women cause them to go wrong. And what is King Lemuel Mama teaching them to do?
Yeah.
We better read it. Don't give your strength to no women. There's a reason why she telling them that. Because that's what Solomon ended up doing. Go ahead. The reason why we're looking at this because we're looking at what? The royal office of the king, right? The judgment or the renewing of the. This is something that Yahushua didn't do. We're gonna keep on going further. And when I said we're gonna talk about the kingdom, then you got to talk about it. Every aspect of it. And the king's office is the integral part of said kingdom. Continue.
Shall we then hearken unto you to do great evil?
Should we listen to you?
To transgress against our Alahym and marrying strange wives? And of the sons of Joiada, the son of Eliashib, the high priest, son-in-law to Sambalat, the Haronite. Therefore I chased them from me. Remember them, O my Alahym, because they have defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. Thus cleansed I them from all strangers and appointed the wards of the priests and the Levites, everyone in his business. And for the wood offering at times appointed, and for the first fruits, remember me, O my Alahym.
He say for the first fruits, remember me. But notice, right? These women had these boys out. Hold on. Let's look at when Ezra prayed about it. Come to Ezra chapter 8, because Ezra prayed about this also. It's chapter 9. Ezra 9. You can pick it up at verse 1, I believe.
It say, now then these things were done. The princes came to me, saying, the people of Yasharal and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the land.
They haven't done what?
Separated themselves.
What have they done?
They're doing according to their abominations.
Of the who?
Even the Canaanites.
And the who?
Hittites.
And the who?
Perizzites.
And what else?
Jebusites.
Ammonites.
Ammonites, Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites.
And they've taken up their daughters for what?
Themselves.
And for their sons?
And the Kadash seed have mingled themselves with the people of the land.
Look at that, man. You can't take this man's separate seed and do that. You can't do that. That's going to be a problem. Continue.
Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers have been chief in this trespass.
He said the ones who were sitting in ruler and leadership were the main ones doing it. Go ahead.
And when I heard this thing, I rent my garment and my mantle and plucked off the hair of my head and my beard and sat down astonished.
That's good because I don't want to go into everything else that he finna talk about. But of course, y'all know what he told them people to do. He told them to get shalom, brother. He told them people to get rid of them churn. But I come back over here to Proverbs 23. Proverbs 23 and 26, and look at what he tell you.
My son, give me your heart and let your eyes observe my ways.
What he said after that?
For a whore, a deep ditch.
A whore is a what?
A deep ditch.
And a strange woman?
A narrow pit.
And she also lie in wait as
A prey.
and increase what?
The transgressors among men.
You got to pay attention to that. Ain't that what he would tell you what happened with Solomon?
Mm-hmm.
He was saying, be careful with that. Now come back to Proverbs 31. 31:1, one more time.
It said in the word of Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him.
What?
My son.
What?
My son of my womb.
What?
My son of my vows.
Of my what?
My vows.
Now you know what that should take you back to when you sitting back looking at son of my vows? The vow that Samuel, her name escaped, that Hannah made in regards to getting Samuel. That means if Lemuel is the son of her vow, she made a promise to Yahuwah in order to conceive this boy. Look at the first thing she tell him.
Give not thy strength unto women.
Don't do what?
Give not thy strength to thy woman.
Nor your ways to what?
Which destroyeth kings.
Now go back and tell him what strength is.
To you.
And what does that mean? That's your strength. That's your what?
Your force, your valor, your strength, your activity, your goods, your valor, your substance. Wealth.
I seen somebody getting upset about this verse in Micah chapter 7, right? Y'all familiar with Micah chapter 7? If not, come look at Micah 7:1. Yeah, I seen some people, they was upset about this, but you know what it really was telling you not to do? To stop pillow talking and talking so damn much with your old lady. She don't need to know everything that you got going on or what your friends got going on. That's what he was telling you. Micah 7:1. Listen to it.
Woe is me, for I am as when they have gathered the summer fruits, as the great gleanings of the vintage. No cluster to eat. My soul desired the first ripe fruit. The good is perished out of the earth, and none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood.
They all do what?
Lie in wait for blood.
What he said after that?
They hunt every man his brother with a net.
They hunt you with a net.
That they may do evil with both hands earnestly.
Listen what he say.
The prince asked, and the judge for a reward. And the great, he utter his mischievous desire, so they wrap it up. The best of them as a briar, the most upright than a thorn hedge.
Go ahead.
The day of your watchman, your visitation come. Now shall be the perplexity. Trust you not in a friend.
Don't do what?
Trust in a friend.
And what else?
Put you not confidence in a God.
And don't do what?
Keep the doors of your mouth from her that lie in your bosom.
Now, what's the first thing should come to your mind when he say keep the doors of your mouth for her that lie in your bosom? Samson. Now let's go take a look at it, because he gave his strength unto a woman. You see what happened to him. Come over here to Judges 16. See, now you can look at it twofold, you understand? You can look at this in the aspect of a natural woman, and of course we go into another passage, and you can look at it like this bald-headed whore who we done talk about many a day. Y'all know who that whore is. We ain't even got to mention her name. So when we come over here to Judges 16, man, pick it up at verse 1, man.
It says, then went Samson to Gaza and saw their harlot.
He saw a harlot?
And it was told by the Gazites, saying, Samson has come here. And they compassed him and laid wait all night in the gate of the city and were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him.
Samson.
He lay until midnight and arose at midnight and took the doors of the gate of the city and the two posts and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders and carried them up to the top of the hill that is before Hebron.
You know what that sounds like? He carried a burden on his shoulders. Same thing that what she was telling him. This is the burden of what you got to carry. See, if you're going to be a king, it's a level of responsibility that come with that. I know they like to show you that in movies, but ain't no real king who was successful in his reign ever sat down with his old lady telling her everything. Because everything ain't meant to be uttered. And you know how we know this? Because when that thundering went off, he said, shut that up. That ain't for you to know. Mm-hmm. Or how many times did Yahushua say, I got many things to say to you, but you can't bear them at this time. Or when they said, what time you going to restore the kingdom of Yasharal? It ain't for you to know that. You don't need to know that. You know what I'm talking about? Nevertheless. Go ahead.
It says, and it came to pass afterwards that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah.
Now, Delilah wasn't a harlot that he knocked down. That was a different woman. He just got him a little piece. You know what I'm saying? He went down there and tricked a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just telling you, that's what it said. Said he went into a harlot. That means he was tricking. Let's not miss no words here. Let's not play no games. That's what Judah did. He went down to Gaza for that specific purpose. Well, I ain't gonna say he did, but he saw one. And he said, "Well, since I'm here, I might as well." You know what I'm saying? Hey, look at man. That man say, "I got a couple of shekels." You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to touch your freckles, and then it went down. You know what I'm talking about? They say you need to be looking for the pimples on the booty. That's what he was doing.
It said, the master of the Philistines came unto her and said unto her, entice him.
Straight up. That's definitely what he did.
He said, entice him and see wherein his great strength lie.
See where his great what?
Strength lie.
Look at entice. Come on, man. What entice mean, man? This nigga over here wild.
I'm wild.
All right, 5. Let's see. Entice is patha. That is to open, to make simple, allure, persuade, flatter, entice.
Persuade, flatter, and entice.
Deceive.
Deceive.
There you go.
Now, give me strength. Is it co-op?
It is.
So we already know that's strength and that's might. Now come on, Civic. Ecclesiastes 7:25.
I applied my heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason and to know the wickedness of folly, even the foolishness and madness. And I find more bitter than death, the woman.
He found more bitter than death, the what?
The woman.
Tell him what bitter means. Now, if anybody would know this, it would be a man who had 1,000 old ladies.
That's mar. That's bitterness.
Now, that's tough. That's a hard saying, if you would. He said, I find more bitter than death, the who?
The woman.
Whose heart?
Snares and nets.
Tell him what snares and nets is. So it says her mind is a snare and a net. Delilah is representative of that. This is why King Lemuel mama telling them don't give your strength unto women. This is a part of the reason why Mashiach ain't tell his old lady everything when he was walking the earth.
Snare is masod. That's siege works, bulwark. That's a munition, a net, a snare.
A snare, that's a trap.
Net is kerim, a thing devoted, a thing dedicated. And we got utter destruction.
So this says he's saying this woman's mind is a trap for destruction, which is exactly what you've seen in Proverbs chapter 23. You know what I'm talking about? Does this mean that this is every woman on the earth? Absolutely not. But this man trying to give you skill to keep yourself out of trouble. And this man's mama literally told him, don't give your strength, your valor, your wealth unto women. And don't give yourself to ways that destroy kings, which we could go all through. Do you understand how long it would take for us just to pause and look at all the kings in Yasharal who got destroyed because they gave their, look here, right? Saul gave his way to ways that don't belong to kings because he got swayed by the people. The people wanted this, that, there. He did. David gave himself to ways that destroy kings because he was lusting after another man's wife. Solomon gave his ways to things that destroy kings because he hearkened to his wives versus hearkening to Yahuwah and building idols and groves for them. You know what I'm saying? So when you see the text saying that her mind is a trap for destruction, it's because she wants to live in pleasure. And if you hearken to that, or you hearken to pleasure that you have towards a woman, it can be for your destruction. You can't do that as a king. You have to be more disciplined than that. So when he say he's going to renew the kingdom, this is what he's talking about. It's got to be new because all these things happened in the kingdom before that, even though this talking about Saul in the first kingdom ever met. But you know what I'm talking about. And then when he showed him the manner of the kingdom, when we deal in kingdom again, this is a Maluka. This is the king's office. Now, all this we talking about is springing from the Deuteronomy 17 about why he tell you to not multiply wives. Because it says Solomon didn't got till he got what? Old and lost strength. And the last bit of strength he had, he gave it to his woman. See, when you carnal and you hear this, you thinking this is just a devastating attack on women or this, that, there, and the third. When you have a mind of Alahym, you understand and know the greatest thing to destroy a man is his woman. This is how Satan will try to take you down is through your old lady, and you can't give your strength to her because if you do, not only is you going to hell, she going to hell, and probably your kids going to hell. You know what I'm talking about? So you have to have the wherewithal to say, absolutely not. We can't do that. That's what Job did. See, the sister was talking about this because we talked about this when we was in Detroit. When you look at her say, curse Alahym and die, and Barak is there. But it also means to curse. But of course, Barak majority of the time means to bless. So of course, remember Brandon was in there talking about that. I think I forgot who I was, but it was mainly. Well, he mentioned it, but I'm talking about Brandon. Brandon know Hebrew better than all of them because he actually can read and write modern Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily because he don't really fool with that paleo like that. But he can read the modern Hebrew, right? So that's why he was the main one talking about it, because he a little bit more versed in the language than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But you have to look at it at the context. Why would she tell him why are you maintaining your innocence? Bless him and die. Because if you're telling somebody to maintain your innocence, then you're actually saying, you know what? Reject your innocence. Because this man she said, why are you retaining your integrity? If you give up integrity, you're giving up your moral innocence. You're giving up your perfection. Quran did say that can be explained. Yeah, I already know. I mean, I ain't never thought about that until my man said it then, and then the young lady I know, she had just been going through Job. Absolutely. That's why I say, I'm just looking at it in context. Even, like I said, the word Barak in general means to bless. But one of the definitions is also to curse. So just because I know that if it's 100 times Barak is used and 95 of them is for blessed, that doesn't mean in this particular context that it means that it's blessed. But I can see the point of contention on either side of the conversation. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm looking at the context of everything going on around it, or she was talking Greece.
People look at the context of this man's character.
Yeah, we'll look at it in a second. Quran said you can look at it as lift up the son of the highest or subdue the son of the highest. That's it. But his response, you sound like them foolish women. I don't see him telling her she sound foolish because she telling him to bless God. You know what I'm saying? Because those two things, that's not even the proper response back to that type of statement. Why are you maintaining your integrity? Bless God and die. You sound like them foolish women. That's not even the proper response. You know what I'm talking about? But we'll look at it in a second. But he didn't give his strength to women in that instance. That's why I can make it relevant to the conversation. Go ahead, man. Ecclesiastes 7 and what?
26.
Listen to it.
And I find more better than death the woman whose heart snares and nets,
And her heart.
her hands as bands.
Now tell him what bands is.
That's a bond or a prison.
So her hands are to keep you in prison. You just seen where he say the strange woman is a narrow pit. You know, I done told y'all that plenty of time before. And I know it'd be hard for people to understand that in these modern times, especially how you got all these people on the internet crying. The word don't never warn women against men because the woman was never out here picking no man. Your daddy was going to pick that man for you. It warns men against women because men would be, that's why people say he that find a wife find a good thing. They make it think, they take that out of context. Because when you say he that find, it means to acquire or to possess. You get the favor of Yahuwah, not because the wife is the good thing, because marriage is. Because what did the writer of Hebrews tell you? That marriage is what? Honorable. So that's what's good, that you'll get acceptance from Yahuwah. You're doing something that he deems to be honorable. The reason why I'm mentioning that, because most people in this country, mainly our people, take that in context is that the wife is the good thing that gets the man blessed. It's not that the wife is what getting blessed. It's the action and the activity. Because now you're doing something that's just in his eyesight. And if both of y'all are his servants, then he is going to look favorably upon both of you. Because now you've joined together as one for the opportunity to inherit the gift of life together. You understand? Ain't that what Peter told you? 1 Peter chapter 3. So that's what make it good. Because get what? He said, man, adulterers are whoremongers. Look at, man, you can be with somebody and be married and both of y'all evil, and it's still honorable in his eyesight. But we don't look at it like that. We don't look at it like that. What else I had in my brain, man? So the other thing we're going to get to too, right? We done dealt with it in the past. It's just been a little minute, but death and life is in the power of the tongue and what that means. Especially dealing with that his kingdom is not in word, but in power. And when you're dealing with that, how we deal with things in the ruach and not in the letter. Because death and life is in the power of the tongue. If you speak in life, you're going to be speaking the gospel. If you speak in the law, you speak in death. Uh-oh. He say pointing to the gospel. Indeed, that's what it's pointing to. You know what I'm saying? These are all the things, like I say, that we have to pause and consider and not take things personally. See, the reason why we take things personally, especially in this social media age that we live in with everybody who can create a podcast, make a short, make a reel, and they talking about all the stuff that they talking about, is that you think that these gender dynamics that a lot of people talking about are the day-to-day thought process of majority of people. Now people's minds are warped. So now when you come in and you bring in what Yahuwah stand for and how he move, that can be offensive to you. Because you think that this is some level of oppression or stifling of something that ain't got nothing to do with that. Because you take this into account, right? You'll have people say you should empower a woman. If I empower her, what am I empowering her to do? Because if I give you power, your power should be to push and further what I'm doing. If I'm giving you power to go over to do something over here that ain't got nothing to do with me, then what the hell was I giving you power for? Why is that important? Why would this man give you his ruach for you to go over here and go do something else that ain't got nothing to do with him? You know what I'm talking about? Why is he going to give you the divine power of everlasting life for you to go over here and do something else? I just seen a woman say, nobody helped me with my dreams. A man is not your help me. A man was not created to help you push and further your dreams. If you want to push and further your dreams, do like a man do and go do it on your own. You know what I'm saying? Go do it on your own. See, because it's only goofy niggas that be like, I need a woman to help me push my dreams. Because a nigga who trying to get it, he going to get it whether he got a woman or not. And if a woman come along, she know the price of admission of riding with him is to put in work to what he got going on, or you don't even need to be here. Because at this point, you ain't got no value to me. I told y'all this, the chick I know, she posted something talking about what your mama brought to the table. I said, nigga, I don't give a damn what she brought to the table. I ain't got to marry her. You know what I'm talking about? But I know why they asked that question. Because, you know, they don't like dudes asking what women bring to the table. They asking that question and be like, well, if your mama was such and such, then why you asking me? But I'm going to look at it is, if I'm looking at what my mama brings to the table, that means I have a irregular sexual attraction and fetish with my mama that is abnormal. But you know why that thought process is out there? Because most people think that somebody want to marry somebody like their mama and marry somebody like their daddy. And everybody don't think that way. Because I'm not looking at my mama as a potential mate. I was looking at my mama as my mama. If you want to know what my mama brought to the table, you need to go ask her man. He can tell you. I can't tell you. You know why? Because now you asking me to step out of the position of a child and put myself in a situation or circumstance that I don't have no knowledge of. Because at the end of the day, don't none of us know how good of a spouse your mama is to your daddy. You'd have to ask your daddy that. You know what I'm talking about? He the only one who can validate that. Did you see that clip where that nigga Carlos was talking to that chick? And she said somebody, he said, ma'am, who validated this? She was saying she was a good woman or wife material. He said, ma'am, who validated this? What man can validate what you're saying? See, it's a lot of women that say, I'm a good woman, but you can't validate that. The men you've been with would have to validate that. They're the only ones who can validate that. That's just like the weirdos who can't get no coochie. I'm a good man. Well, you can't validate that, sir. The women you've been with would have to validate. You know how many women I done seen, they say, I'm a good woman. Baby, you say you done had how many different dudes? If you was that good, why these niggas keep leaving you? Oh, they didn't leave me. I knew my worth. So you left a dude to make your life harder because you was just that good. You sound stupid. You a good woman, but you get bumps. I'm a healer. That's the excuse. I'm a healer. I'm an empath. No, you're an idiot. You know what I'm talking about? You picking somebody weaker to dominate. I just seen a chick who be in them skits. You ever seen that skit Jodem did talking about she from New York and he wanted to be with her? That chick there, she was on somebody's podcast, man. And she was talking about that she used to pick weaker dudes on purpose so she could control them. She said, I want to do what I want when I want, go where I want when I want. She said, I'm attracted to alpha males, but when they go to dealing with me, they be like, no. Because when you're dealing with a strong dude, he's not dealing with that because he don't have to. You want to do what you want. You want to dominate. You want to run your mouth. You can slide. You know who that sound like? That sound like you. He's not dealing with you. You want to be proud, arrogant, disrespectful. You want to be rebellious. You want to do what you want. He going to be like this here. I'll depart because I'm not dealing with that. That is an aspect of not giving your strength unto women. You don't do that because Yahuwah's not doing it. That doesn't make that woman evil. That doesn't make her nothing other than this might not be the right situation or circumstance for me. See, people take that stuff personally. But a lot of men you taught to do what? To get ran over. You can't lead from the position of serving God if you're used to getting ran over by women. Because you go against your God for that woman. Never go against God for no woman. Don't go against God for yourself. Don't go against God for your family. Because you know the first woman who tried to get over on you, don't you? Your mama. And you know black mamas real good to hit you with this one here. I took care of you all my life. All your life. That's what they like to hit you. You know how proud these women done got in this country, man? But now they around here talking about your birthday is their birthday anniversary and they want to be celebrated and get a gift too. Yeah, you have some women be like, if it's your birthday, she'll be like, oh, it's to acknowledge me because I birthed you on this day. The day I became a mother, I need to be acknowledged also. Give me a gift. I seen a clip of a dude talking about his wife asking for a push gift. That nigga say, what the hell is that? No, you became a second mother. One thing about it, she like this here. The end of the day I became a mother, but it's my day too because I birthed you. I done seen this online, bro. I told you I just seen a clip of a dude talking about his wife talking about, he didn't get me a push gift. That nigga said, I don't even know what that is, Judge. This nigga was confused. Women in the comments like, you supposed to get her a gift for having your baby. I said, well, where was the women at 150 years ago who thought like this? And then the sad part was she didn't even inform the man that this is something that she desired. She had a thought in her mind that he's supposed to did it. That nigga told her, I am giving you a push gift. That nigga said, I'm paying for you and that baby. That's gift enough. The judge went to dying laughing. I said, hell no. But I'm not saying that to poke at women. I'm saying that as the forth of the society that we live in, the level of selfishness and self-centeredness that seeps into things that they promote. And they really come at women like at that because they're just more susceptible to it because of them being more inclined to being emotional. So you got to know the tricks that get played out here. Because see, they come at men differently. They come at men to do things to appease women because they know men want sex. Mine asked me, do I love God more than her? I said, I do with all my heart. So, see, that's a tough question. That's what Brother Marvin just said. His wife asked him that. That's a tough question. Woman come ask you something like that. Because I'm a different type of nigga. I might look at you and be like, shoot, you might need to move out. Because I can't even believe you asked me that. But then sometimes some women want to see what you're going to say. Because she might be like, shoot, nigga, if you say me, I might need to move out. You know what I'm talking about? Then you got the reverse. Because you got some women to be like, this nigga bet not say he loved me more than he loved God because I might need to leave. This nigga's crazy. So you got both sides of that coin. Because boy, if a dude told you he loved you more than he loved you, I would hope you would be perplexed. But then you got some women, that's what they want. Then you got some women, that's what they want. Because I done seen a few in my day. Not necessarily I was dealing with him personally, but I could tell like they wanted that man to love her more than he loved Yahuwah. That's a dangerous place to be. And all this matters because if you in Mashiach, he's made us what? Kings and priests by his own blood. And this is not the way for kings. He said I was a mother that asked that question. Shoot, I've heard that. Shoot, definitely. I could expect Mom Dukes to say that because Mom, Mom. See, this other thing people be forgetting. That might be your mama. That's still a woman. You know what I'm talking about? And you got to know how to separate the two. Just like that might be your daddy. That's still a man. And you got to separate the two. Because you your daddy don't mean he make good decisions. You know what I'm talking about? And put himself in good situations and circumstances. He said that. I figured that. He said that was his mama that asked him that. That's a black mama question, though. You love me more than God, baby? I'd be like, Mama, I love you just as much as how good such and such. The worst dish I know she make. You hate that, though. I guess you know. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Let me move on back. I be thinking about stuff they show you, like they show you stuff in skits and movies, dudes eating food they hate and they don't say they don't like it because they don't want to upset this woman. And they said, I never understood that. I ain't finna be walking around here fake throwing away food and acting like, man, this junk nasty. You know if I don't like something because I ain't gonna eat it. It's gonna be right down that plate. I'm like, I don't want that. I don't like that. You'll know if I like something. You know how you gonna know? Ain't gonna be no more food on the plate. It's gone. See, I know some people think, nah, you just greedy. Lying to me. If I don't like it, boy, I ain't eating it. Ooh, you could look crazy. You didn't like it. You don't give me your palate. I told you I ain't had no problem with it. You know what he talking about. You don't know what he talking about, that vegan lasagna. That boy's still offended to that to this day. I'm talking about to this day. Well, that been 10 years, boy. That nigga still pissed off about that. That took been 10 years, nigga. That nigga still mad about that. That nigga say he ain't letting that go.
But they just worked out, man. He was hungry.
I don't even think it was the workout. That nigga was hungry. That nigga was anticipating something. That nigga say, what in the hell is this? All jokes aside, it's been 10 years. He say, Trina be mad at me when I do that to her. I'd be like, I'm going to go get me something to eat because I ain't eating this. That nigga ain't say, I'm going to get something out the house. That nigga, I'm going to go get something to eat. Woo. And I ain't no hard man to please. So if it be like this here, man, hey, I don't like that. I don't like it. Huh? My mama, a little mother and Deidre.
That's why I look at him like that. Ain't too much he don't like.
It's not even that if I like or don't like.
Don't like.
It's not like, oh, I really like this. I be like, you know,
Ain't
hey,
too much he don't like.
niggas make what I eat though. I don't eat everything. That's not factual.
If it's lawful, lawful is true.
At the end of the day, them niggas don't do nothing but bake beef, lamb, and chicken. And fish. You know what I'm saying? They say you like to be like your man's, go to Lawful House. Come on.
No.
That's what he got on the t-shirt.
Definitely did.
Go ahead, Sid. Ecclesiastes 7:26.
And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart snares and nets, her hands is bands. Whoso please Alahym shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her.
See, now, let's go over. Now, this is not to say that Samson was a sinner, but he got taken by this woman. Come over here where we stopped at. Judges 16:5. Hey, why you over there talking, cuz? What you talking about?
It said, the masters of the Philistines came up unto her and said unto her, entice him, and see wherein his great strength lie, that by that means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him.
And we would what?
Give you every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver.
She was gonna come up. Let's look up what 1,100 pieces of silver would be worth in these days.
1,100.
1,100. What the other one? What would Judas one was? What that was? 250.
Somewhere around there. You don't keep fluctuating with the price of silver.
Let's see what 1,100 pieces of silver worth today. And they said every one of us. So I don't know how many lords that is. So we could be able to multiply that a little bit. 230. You in here with a nigga bunny on. Wow. You take selfies. You take selfies.
Yeah, I'm 100.
We're gonna see how much 1,100 pieces of silver would equate to in modern dollars, which is highway robbery.
Paid, man. Huh? She was getting paid.
It said many lower, so shoot, she might have came up decent. Because remember, it was 30 pieces of silver. So, this is times,
They say the Lord of the Philistines was pretty much the king of Gaza, king of Ashkelon, king of Ashdod, king of Ekron, king of Gath.
what, about 6, 7 people?
5.
5 people. So, like I said, right, because this is almost 30 times. So, shoot, she probably was going to get about maybe 2 bands a piece. So, she was going to get about 10 racks. She a hitman for the 10 bands. Let me get that. Let me get that. Come here, Mother Neil.
Hey,
Let me get them chips, Neil.
ain't got nothing for you, sis?
I said this one from 2012 was like that junk would have been about $89,000 because that's when silver was $31 an ounce.
How much is it right now?
Ain't nothing up to date.
22.
Let me see.
It might be in the 10.
Well, if it were $89,000 from 2012, which is 11 years ago, which it might
Okay,
not,
this one got the 2023 calculation.
that would be about.
This is 25. This one say $25,655.
So basically about 26,000. So you know what I'm saying? 26,000 times 5, she was gonna get about 180 bands.
Gonna get paid.
She was gonna get paid.
Big real.
You know what I'm saying?
Nice little come up.
I ain't gonna lie, that's a little bit better to rat out a nigga than what Judas got. If you're gonna be a rat, at least get paid. Judas got a couple $100.
They feel like they was gonna work that nigga anyway. That's why they ain't even want that Trump change back.
Keep that.
Keep that, dude.
$200. Nigga. I wipe my butt with $200. Nigga, I'm the high priest. $200.
That's what he get too. I know you felt like a trash.
You know he did.
Damn.
All jokes aside, though, you got to know, boy, for 1,100 pieces of silver, for 5,500 pieces of silver, woman tell on anybody. She'll snake anybody for that. Ain't too many women got a level of integrity to turn that type of money down.
They're gonna blow within the week.
Shoot, by the end of the day. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead, man.
And Delilah said to Samson, "Tell me, I pray you, where is your great strength, and wherewith will your might be abound to afflict you?" And Samson said unto her, "If they bind me with 7 green withs, that they would never dry, then I will be weak and be as another man." And then the masters of the Philistines brought her up 7 green withs which had not been dried, and she bound them. Now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in her chamber. And she said unto him, "The Philistines be upon you, Samson." And he broke the withs, and the thread of toe was broken, wherewith he touched it with fire, so his strength was not known. And Delilah said unto Samson, "Behold, you have mocked me and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray you, wherewith is your might be bound?"
He said unto her,
"If they bind me with new ropes that never were occupied, then I should be weak and be as another man."
Delilah said what?
She took new ropes and bound them wherewith, and said, "The Philistines be
I ain't gonna lie to you. The first time I told her where my strength was at, and I wake up and I got that on me, but I'm getting rid of this hoe.
Yeah, that's the part of the story I ain't really.
Well, because it was a Yahuwah, so and that gets overlooked. You know what I'm saying?
It made me think he over.
So, Proverbs said, "Man established man claimed himself."
Yeah, but it also say that everything that he did, it was of Yahuwah to get at the Philistines. So Yahuwah can give you a mind to you ain't giving something no thought
out
because he got something else going on.
I feel like he the strength. He was proud.
He could have been proud of his strength, but that's insinuating and speculating.
And they gonna have to come in here.
You know what I'm saying? But at this point,
bust open every time, bust go. Every time. Like a
Well,
nigga would. Like a nigga would. It said, then we had 10. Then Samson said unto, we had 12. It said, Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him therewith, and said, "The Philistines be upon you, Samson." And there were liars in wait in the chamber. He broke off them from his arms like a thread. And Delilah said unto him, Hereto you have mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith your might may be bound. And he said unto her, You weave 7 of my locks in the head in the web. Then she fastened it with the pin and said unto him, The Philistines be upon you, Samson. He awoke out his sleep and went away with the pin of the beam and with the web. And she said unto him,
How can you love me?
You love me
Look how she hit him with, how you love me?
when thy heart is not with me?
Shalom, bro.
You have mocked me 3 times and have not told me wherein your great strength lies.
It came to pass.
When she pressed him daily with her words.
Tell him what press means.
Press is suit. That's to constrain, to press, to bring it in straighten, to oppress, to lie sword.
See, basically just oppressing it, aggravating the man. Tell him what urge meant. Vexed his soul unto death, what it say?
Urged is a lot. That's to urge, to press.
Yeah, kept coming to him continually, and it wearied him to the point that he just was like, man, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much in modern times what you would call nagging. You know what I'm talking about? Just steady asking or saying the same thing to this man over and over and over and over and over again. And every man he can tell it is vexing to the soul. Because I heard you the first time. That's pretty much what he did. It's finna tell you that. Go ahead. Verse 16 of Judges 16.
It said it came to pass when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death.
Then he did what?
He told her all his heart.
See how I say the woman, his hands is like bands and the hearts is like snares and nets? That's what happened to him.
And said unto him, There have not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite unto Alahym from my mother's womb.
If I be shaven,
then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man.
So see, it's necessarily not looking at the hair, but the separate aspect of it. This man had been consecrated and sanctified under Alahym. And you see what was going to make him weak? See, people focus on, see, you don't want to cut your hair, brother. That make you weak. That ain't what made him weak. What make him weak? Departing from the vow. Because the growing of the locks is a part of the vow. Now the vow has been broken. Once the vow is broken, now you like any other man because the Nazarite has been sanctified under Alahym specifically. And that's a voluntary sanctification. Now, as far as, of course, you know, with Samson here, he was a Nazarite from birth. Because notice it said that from my what? Mother's womb. The same way that who else was a Nazarite from the womb? And Samuel.
Go to dad.
That's right, Quran. The covenant was broken. That's what made Mashiach weak to be taken down by his Delilah. Because Delilah means feeble. When you're weak, they be able to, that's what the weak have to do to take down the strong.
When somebody tell you to do something, you do it. Sit your ass down.
Now, come on, verse 17.
It says, and then he told her all his heart and said unto her, There have not come a razor upon his head, for I have been a Nazarite unto my Alahym from my mother's womb. And if it be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like another man.
And Delilah
saw that he had told her all his heart, and she sent and called the masters of the Philistines, saying, Come up this once, for he has showed me all his heart.
He done showed me.
Then the masters of the Philistines came up unto her and brought the money in their hand.
Brought the money.
And she made him sleep upon her knees. And she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him.
So you know, when it afflict him, they began to oppress him. They began to oppress him. He told her everything. And what did Micah tell you? Keep your doors from she that lie in your bosom. He done lost his great strength because he was running him out. So this is the example why King Lemuel Mama told him what he told him. Or told him what she told him.
It made me think about, I think it's Proverbs, like 3 things.
Yeah, it is. Proverbs 30. We read it the other day. It's 30 and 12. Go ahead. Proverbs 30 and 12.
I can't understand that. I don't see how you can go through all that aggravating me. I just don't understand. You can vex my soul when I lay it down in the knees. That's aggravating. That's what you doing.
And it was all Yahuwah, so he could kill them Philistines. Because he ended up killing more Philistines in his death
That's right.
than he did when he was alive.
That's right.
That was the purpose of it.
That's right. That's right.
But it's a teaching moment. Everything written aforetime is written for your learning.
That's right.
And so, you know what I'm saying? See, a lot of people like to see enjoying the wife of your youth and taking pleasure and being ravished with her love is something totally different from running your damn mouth all the time. But as I said, that doesn't come from the aspect of you told your wife should be your best friend and we talk about everything. She don't need to know everything you got going on. And that ain't no aspect of trying to be in control or in the dark. That's just, she don't need to know it. If that person know everything about you, boy, then they know what to do to destroy you. And as a leader and a ruler, you don't give everybody the information for your destruction. Even when you deal with a Mashiach, when he told him what was going to happen to him in his death, he said, don't tell nobody till after I rise. He ain't go around telling everybody, yeah, y'all. Hey. You know what I'm saying? He didn't divulge all information all the time. Some things he kept to himself. It's okay to keep some things to yourself. You divulge what is needed for them to know. You know what I'm talking about? Don't tell nobody. Keep that to yourself. That's for you, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, your grandma used to do you back in the day, man. Slide her hand in her bra, man. Slide you that dog real quick. That's for you, baby. Don't say nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She gets smooth with it. That's how you know she been hitting granddaddy for some change out the bank account for a long time to walk up on you and slide you that smooth up.
Smooth dog.
You know what I'm talking about? She ain't giving no fives, no ones, no nothing. A nice folded dub, crisp. That's for you, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, where my beer money at? Don't worry about it, baby. He don't need no beer. That's for you. See, the truth be told, she helped him out by taking his beer money. He upset though, but he'll be all right. He ain't need that beer no way. You know what I'm saying? You get it next week. You don't need the drink. Take it down. No, man, Demetrius say, especially in these times. Indeed. See, like I said, that's not a negative. You supposed to know really more than that. I just nigga talk too much, man. Nigga be around here. You ain't. I told you that you ain't supposed to interact with your old lady like you one of her girlfriends. How she gonna look at you as her ruler and you talking to her like you her girlfriend? And that just came to my mind when somebody played I seen a reel, and a nigga old lady came back from brunch, and he was like this here. Talking about, I got something to tell you like this here. I'm like, and it switched, and he's sitting at the bathtub with a robe on, with a mug with some tea in it to give it to him. And all the women in the comments was like, yeah, that's me and my man. I'm like, nigga, what? I was like, damn. You talk to your old lady trying to get all the info on her and her friends?
Eager.
But I expect her to be eager to tell it. I'm shocked that he eager to hear it. That's what threw me, that he was eager to hear it. Like, damn, you want to know women's business, bro? That woman's a lesbian. Oh, man. Quran said he broke all the way down after he was risen and opened up their mind to understand. Yeah, he did. But like I said, he kept something back. That wasn't for his old lady to know right then. I'll give you that information later when it's beneficial for you to use. Time appointed. It's a time and place for all things. Come on with it, man. See, that's it. See, the case in point is not that you can't talk to her, but when and what that you talking to her about. So I say, man, it's okay if she see you as her best friend, but you shouldn't look at her like you her best friend. That means she look at you like one of your home, because she gonna interact with you like she interact with a woman. I never understood that, niggas who want the tea. Why you drinking tea, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Drink some coffee. Ain't nothing wrong with drinking no tea. You know, these people crazy these days and times. They say everything gay for a man to do. You can drink all the tea you want. I'm more so talking about the metaphorical, proverbial tea of gossip of things that don't concern you. You know what I'm saying? Now you a busybody and other men's matters.
That's right.
And it's not even other men's matters you're in. You're in ladies' matters. Because if your woman is coming back talking about she got the tea, she talking to you about her homegirl. Why is a grown behind man wanting to hear about the lives and tales of his old lady's friends? I don't want to hear this.
No.
I can watch TV for that. They got all type of TV shows. They got new ones and old ones. You can watch Dallas. You can watch Knots Landing. You can watch, you know what I'm talking about? You can turn around. I don't know no new stuff. You know what I'm talking about? That's just good. You can watch all the stories from back in the day. You know, some of y'all mamas and grandmas stayed watching God and Light and As the World Turns. I could watch that if I wanted to participate in that type of stuff. I'm talking about, boy, my auntie stayed recording that junk. Victor Newman. Young and the Red. That's the one. That's it.
She used to watch us late at night, dude.
Later, as soon as she get off work, that's her objective every day. That nigga probably was at work. I can't wait to get home to see what happened with Victor Newman. I don't give a damn about none of these people. Quran say, I love tea. Hey, you know, ain't nothing wrong with brewing you up some nice tea, man. We from the South, so people down here, they like iced tea.
What?
Sweet iced tea.
Definitely.
I don't like tea, not sweet tea. I'm good on that. Never been a fan. You know, I can drink some boiled tea, some brewed tea. I ain't never been. Let me get a sweet iced tea. I can't drink that junk. That junk, diabetes in a glass.
No.
I'm screaming. That boy say unsweet. That boy just want to drink leaves. That's it. You know what I'm saying? My mans themselves some tea though, man. I just don't drink tea. I ain't never about none. I be forgetting to get Deidre some. She drink tea. I don't drink tea. I think it's what they call cherry tea. That's what they call it. No, that boy got flavors and all. Them boy, I think they harvest that they sell. You know what I'm talking about? That just ain't no put some tea in a bag and slap a label on it. You know what I'm talking about? Them boy harvesting that. You know what I'm talking about? Them boy putting that in. You know what I'm saying? That boy say cold tea. No, yeah, man, we from the South, man. You know, he over there in England, man. They got tea and crumpets.
Tea party.
Tea party. Ting. You know what I'm talking about?
Where they get that from?
Nice and warm. You know what I'm saying? We from the South, man. Them boy, that tea good and cold, man. I'm talking about with a lemon on the cup. You feel me? It's getting that time of year, man. These women finna be outside with that dog, especially the white women. They finna be outside with that peach cobbler and that tea, lying, soaking up that Florida sun. That boy say English tea with scones and jam. Yeah, we don't do that here. We in the South. Nigga drink sweet tea with chicken, sweet tea with fish, sweet tea with bread, sweet tea just cause it's some tea in the house. Niggas go to Publix, just buy gallons of tea. Then they mix tea and lemonade. They call it on and palm.
Call it a white man.
Call it a white man. A golfer at that. And only reason they do that because he got his own brand. He's saying perhaps some cream. Yeah, them boy having a real live tea party. We don't do that now. Yeah, see, y'all sophisticated. In America, ain't no sophistication over here, man. You got to have some money to be sophisticated over here.
My first time. That's how they do it.
So say, yes, sir, tea and lemonade. You know what I'm talking about? That's what they do down here. I don't know if they drink that everywhere else, but in the South, them niggas on that tea and lemonade, boy. Hardcore.
That AP, nigga.
That AP. Jessica say it's too sweet though. See, because you from up north, you know what I'm saying? So it don't matter. Y'all like everything bland. Your weather bland, your food bland, beverages bland.
So hard.
Just bland. You know, you coming. Everybody say that when you come down south. Everything's spicy, it's lively, it's more flavorful.
They do.
Ain't nobody ever said I want some New York City ribs.
Or chicken for that matter.
Ain't nobody ever. You ain't never heard say that.
Definitely not.
Hard to me to say we own that in North. You ain't never heard nobody say, "Well, I sure need me some good barbecue from New York." No. I gotta give a damn about no pizza. I'm talking about barbecue, nigga. Southern flavors.
I was in New York, nigga.
Can't nobody say that.
Everybody had that.
Yeah,
barbecue.
You know what I'm talking about?
I'm bad barbecue down here.
You can, but when anybody talking about some barbecue and think that they talking about it, they Mason Dixon line with it.
Yeah, for real. You assume.
They talk about pizza. They talk Mason Dixon line.
Man, ain't nobody talking about no pizza. Ain't nobody sitting around talking about I sure want me some New York pizza. People just say I want some pizza.
Yeah, you know.
Only a nigga from New York.
Only
That's
nigga
it.
from New York. Cause you have to been there to even want to reference.
To even want to reference it.
it. Nigga just want some pizza. I don't give a damn.
Same way nobody walk around. I sure want me some Detroit style, some Chicago deep dish. You'd have to have the experience.
You want your Coney Island?
You want a Coney?
Yeah. We've seen plenty of Coney Island. We ain't going there.
That's what nigga like.
Them nigga food look like the one. I ain't gonna lie. Me, we did pull up on the car. I said, well, look, we gonna get robbed in that hole. Boy, I don't even go in there. You know what I'm talking about? Try to go in there and get him something, man.
We ain't getting.
I damn sure didn't. That junk ain't. I ain't want to go nowhere where they specialize in selling glizzies.
You go glizzy, hot glizzy, half a glizzy.
And then the crazy boy Trad told us you got to know which Coney to go to. And he said you can't go to any one of them.
I don't want to stick with you.
Matter of fact, I don't want nothing that's named after a city that ain't even in that state. Coney Island is in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's weird. That caught me off. That was just weird.
Yeah, that's in Brooklyn. What I got you on?
Yeah, Proverbs 30 and 18.
Proverbs 30 and 8, man.
I think 18.
I'll tell you. Now, you know what's funny? I got more to read in Proverbs 31. But he was mentioning that part about a man in his way with a woman that's unexplainable. And it is. $30 and 18.
It says, there be three things which are too wonderful for me, yea, four which I know not. The way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a maid.
You don't even understand. Guess what? Yahusha dealing with his maid, you couldn't even understand that because nobody wouldn't do it. Right. Ain't nobody finna die for a divorce whore. That's what he did. Just keep it a buck. You was a whorish, imperious woman from his own words. And he died to you to make you a maid. And one thing we know, boy, Yahuwah did it twice. He only married a virgin. Because he said he espoused you to him as a what?
Hey.
He only married a virgin. That's why you got to be born again. You got to get clean of that sin. I need you pure. See, if you're thinking about vaginas and wee-wees, you thinking wrong. When we talking about he only marrying a virgin, he only wants something that's pure. He ain't taking nothing less because he's pure. It just is what it is. Change your life. Get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? And your game tight. Come on back over here to Proverbs 31, man. You can read verse 3 one more time.
It said, give not thy strength unto a woman, nor thy ways to which destroy kings.
It's not for kings to do what, Ola Mule?
It is not for kings to drink wine.
Nor for princes what?
Strong drink.
See that too much? See, you said, he said it ain't for princes to do that, my G. That ain't nothing a ruler's supposed to do. You know why? Because what does Isaiah 29 tell you about that wine? Your air and vision.
That's right.
Get it for him, 29 and 8. If you talking about being the king, because that's what every nigga like to say, I'm the king. Well, pussy nigga, this is what a king do. Put that liquor down. Put it down, you drunk bastard. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't no king then, because I need that henny meat, boy. That's what I got to give him.
It shall even be as when a hungry dream, and behold, he eat.
Oh, back now, 29 and 1. I got you. Matter of fact, hold on. I think I got you in the wrong spot all the way around the boat. Let me get you right, man. You picking up that tab like you can read real quick. Well, that's not gonna hurt your eyes, boy. You keep doing that, boy. It's 28, my bad. You want 28 and 5. Yeah, don't put that close to your eyes like that, boy. Don't hurt your eyes, boy.
In that day shall Yahuwah of hosts be for a crown of esteem, and for a diadem of beauty unto the residue of his people, and for the ruach of judgment to him that sit in judgment, and for strength to them that turn the battle to the gate. Mm-hmm. But they also have erred through wine.
They've erred through what?
Through wine.
Through what?
Through wine.
Through what?
Through wine.
And what else?
And through strong drink.
What happened to
out
them?
of the way?
They're out of the what?
Out of the way.
Go ahead.
The priest and prophet have erred through strong drink.
The priest and the who?
And prophet
have erred through what?
Strong drink.
What else?
They are swallowed up of wine. They're out of the way through strong drink.
Tell them what swallowed up means.
That's balad. swallow down, to swallow up, to engulf, to eat up.
So they got ate up by getting drunk. Come on.
They're out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment.
They stumble in what?
In judgment.
And they erring in what?
Vision.
What do we read that what was one of them blemishes in Leviticus, man? You couldn't offer the bread with if you had. If you had a blemish in your eye. You erring in vision. You don't know no word. You don't know what you're talking about. You can't be around here being no king, getting drunk. It's going to affect your ability to have a proper vision. Put that liquor down, boy. But I like to drink my wine. Hey, that's your business. All it is, hey, just don't say you a king then. Because that's what that's the burden she put on the king. Ain't that what it said? Let's go back to Proverbs 31. You ain't got to like it. See, one thing I know about niggas with the word, boy, they only want to deal with the part they like. Come on, give me Proverbs 21, man. Ain't going to hurt nobody. Let's look at what the book say about it.
It say wine is a mocker. Strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. The fear of a king is
What did he say now? Whoever get what?
Whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise.
It say wine is a what?
Wine is a mocker.
And strong drink is a what?
Is raging.
Now tell them what mocker and raging is.
Mocker is lutes, to scorn, to make mouths at, to talk arrogantly. A mocker, to make a mock.
So wine gonna mock you. So what happened when you get drunk? What they did with Mashiach? He was a wine bibber and a glutton. That's what they like to do to you now.
And then raging is hama, to murmur, to growl, to roar, to cry aloud.
So when you get that strong
tumult.
drink, people murmuring and talking about you. They run in your mouth. You're giving your enemies a chance to run their mouth. You're giving the enemies of Yahuwah a chance to run their mouth. Put that liquor down.
It says to rage, to war, to be in an uproar.
And it said, whosoever deceived by it is not wise. You get deceived by that wine, it ain't gonna be all. It ain't gonna be good for you. Just don't do it. That's if you say you a king. Now you say you ain't no king. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, get you anything is possible. Ain't that's what that dude in the robe used to say? That's what you don't remember that dude? I ain't seen that nigga in a long time. That nigga used to cook with Hennessy. He had one rap song, man. Dude had a clip on that. That was hilarious. That nigga stayed drunk though.
My granddad stayed drunk.
Shoot, mine did too. On potatoes. Vodka. Vodka. That's all potato. That's all vodka is potatoes. That was his thing. That's what he liked to drink. Vodka. Smirnoff to be specific. I'm talking about that's cheap liquor. You know what I'm saying? Seagrams gin. Got them ready to sin. So you look at that, right? Come on back to Proverbs 31, man. Read verse 4 one more time. Look what happened when he say what happened when you drink. Proverbs 31 and 4. We got to finish Deuteronomy 17 also.
It said, it is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, nor princes strong drink.
Lest they drink
and forget the law
and pervert
the judgment of any other affliction.
That's why he said it ain't good for you to get drunk, because you're going to forget what you're supposed to do. Now let's go back to Deuteronomy 17, what he said about that law now. We in Deuteronomy 17 and 17.
Neither shall he multiply wise to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold.
Now, of course, we didn't go a deep dive and looking at Solomon, but when you got a lot of women, man, they're going to turn your heart away. So give me 1 Corinthians 7, man. Give me 7 and 10. 1 Corinthians 7 and 10, man. See, again, and this son too, because we were talking about that earlier. This is what people's problem is. That's why I say that video you had with Gino, that John real still story, right? And I seen that listening to Bruce talk about that situation. We were talking about it before we went live, man, about them boys fighting in the street. Niggas in their word don't act like they real people that are subject to like passions like anybody else. Niggas act like they got to uphold this, that, there, and the third. Nigga, you is a damn fool if you think if you're not dealing with a woman that there's gonna be some type of pulling away from what you're supposed to be doing because you got a woman with you. You just a simpleton if you don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? Just like Cuz said in the video though, you got Bruce, boy, they try to act like, why y'all watching sports? You're supposed to be in these scripts. Come on, bro. You not like that, bro. I peeped that early. I'm like, damn, nigga, you act like you in the word 24 hours a day. Ain't nobody in the word 24 hours a day. I don't talk about nothing but the word. All I do is read scripture. I'd be like, come on, bro, stop it. Stop
the word, man.
But is it the same token of dudes who talk like that, they ain't living like that? Dudes act like, man, why they did all that? He did that because he pushed your homeboy. Keep your hand to yourself. Now, he just told you, don't multiply wives to you lest they turn your heart away. And niggas be thinking they better than Solomon. Now, he had 1,000 women. You got a woman who ain't even no woman. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't talking about physiologically. I'm talking about she ain't a woman in the mind. She might got a coochie, but you ain't got you no woman. You know what I'm saying? You got a female. That's a female. That's what you got in there. You got you no woman. You know, what's the difference between a girl, a female, and a woman, and a wife? You ain't got a wife or a woman. You got a female. That's what you got. You ain't got you hitting on nothing, man. She ain't got no air, no grace, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? She just got a titties in a box, and you good with that. You should get naked. That nigga got a Barbie doll. That nigga got a real live Barbie doll. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got you nothing else. Come on, man. Oh, that's tough.
They say, unto the married I command, yet not I, but the master, let not the wife depart from her husband.
Mm-hmm.
But if she depart, let her remain unmarried or to be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife.
Don't let the husband put away, because you know that man said he hate putting away. Because we were having a conversation earlier, right? I didn't make it clear because a lot of brews don't seem to be clear on it. Divorce and putting away are the same thing. See, some brothers believe that putting away is not divorce if I don't give you a bill. But see, as far as you are concerned, you can give a bill, a till, a title. It don't make no difference. That's still your wife, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's still your wife, bro.
I'm about to say put away is says of a husband divorcing his wife.
I know that in the Greek, but when you look at putting away in the Hebrew, it means to put away. But it's the divorce. But they looking at what he didn't say give a bill. So it's really just being technical. You know what I'm saying? But this man said make sure the husband don't do what? Put away his wife. Read it again.
He said, but if she depart, let her be unmarried or be reconciled to her husband. Let not the husband put away his wife.
Let not the husband do what?
Put away his wife.
Go ahead.
But to the rest speak I not of the master. If any brother have a wife that believe not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away.
Now listen, he's telling you his personal perspective. Because in the book of Nehemiah, he told them to get rid of them women. You know what I'm talking about? That's why he said, I ain't telling you what the Lord say. I'm just saying, hey man, if she good and you good, then be easy. Listen to him.
If a brother have a wife that believe not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away.
See, some people, he contradicting the law. The man telling you, see, that's what I mean about being a real person. He telling you, this is what the law say. I'm just talking to you as an individual. You know what I'm saying? Niggas act like they can't do that.
It's his suggestion.
Yeah, this is just my perspective on this. And that's why he prefaced it. Y'all know y'all done been in a situation. I'm going to tell you what the word say. I'll tell you what my thought. But I would prefer you lean to the word. But I'm a real individual, so I ain't just going to be acting like that's not a factor in what we got going on as people.
But even with him, when he slapped them boys and cursed them, he said, make sure your children get that right. Because you already know you're not going to just walk away from these women.
You're not finna walk away from these women.
He already said that. He said, promise not to marry your kids off to
these people.
Yeah.
Because matter of fact, he told them people they had to get rid of the children. He said, you got to get them children out of here. Them boys were crying about that. That was tough. If they looked at it like this here, you shouldn't have been messing with them. You wouldn't have to do it. Come on.
It says, and the woman which have the husband that believe not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
Because, we had this conversation recently. Like, a lot of brothers feel like the woman can't leave her husband. Anybody can leave when they want. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't compel somebody to be with you. You can't compel somebody to stay. But I'm of the thought process, Hey man, if you leave, don't come back. You know what I'm talking about? If you get him and say I'm leaving, that's fine. Don't come back now. Don't be like, hey man, I think I made the wrong decision. This, that, there, and the third. Yeah, no, just stay where you at.
That's what it says. Let them go.
Yeah, just stay where you at. I'm not you because at that point you're gonna try to hold me emotionally hostage and yo-yo me, and you're not gonna do me like that. You know what I'm saying? The same way I done told y'all, hey man, if you done did something to your old lady, man, and because I had a conversation in the clubhouse room long time ago, they was like, you don't get the right to tell people how long it take to get over something. I said, I ain't saying that, but you don't get the right to hold me emotionally hostage to how you feeling about some junk that you said, oh, okay, I forgive you. We gonna pass that. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna be like, I'm triggered and bring that back. I'm not gonna be your emotional hostage. If you can't get over it, then leave. Period, point blank. Because why do I have to live like that? I'm not. You know what I'm talking about? And you know why I'm not? Because Yahuwah don't do that. Yahuwah ain't gonna be like, you know what? You look like you were about to do that sin you did back in 97. I'm triggered. Now I'm gonna come rebuke you. You ain't did nothing though. No, I'm not doing that. Come on.
It says, but if the unbelieving depart, let them depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in these such cases.
Mm-hmm.
But Alahym has called us to shalom.
Mm-hmm.
For what knowest you, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband?
And what know you,
O man, whether you should save thy wife?
You can't.
But as Alahym hath distributed to every man, as
Shalom,
the
Mr.
master have called everyone, let him walk. And so ordain in all assemblies.
Mm-hmm.
And is any man being called uncircumcised, let him not become uncircumcised.
Mm-hmm.
And if any is called in the uncircumcision, let him not be circumcised.
We talked about that last night, so we ain't got to go in that great detail.
Right.
I think I skipped what I want to keep
on. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing but the keeping of the commandments of Alahym. Let every man abide in the same calling whereas he is called.
That's good. Drop down to verse 27.
They say, art thou bound unto a wife?
That boy, that's stupid.
Seek not to be loose. Art thou loose from a wife? Seek not a wife.
He say, but and if
thou marry, you have not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she has not sinned.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you.
See that trouble in the flesh? Tell him what trouble is in that Greek.
Trouble is thlipsis, oppressing together, an affliction, tribulation, distress, straits.
You know what that straits or that troubling is in your flesh? Them loins. Them loins. Listen to him. Verse 29.
But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remains that both they that have wives be as though they had none,
and they that weep
as though they wept not,
and they that rejoice
as though they rejoice not,
and they that buy
as if they possess not,
and they that use this world
not abusing it,
for the fashion
of this world pass away.
But I would have you without carefulness.
He that is unmarried care for the things that belong to the master,
and how he might please
the master. But he that is married care for the things that are of the world,
and how he may please who?
His wife.
See, that's the difference. So you already got to know that and understand that. That's why I say you can't give your strength unto women, because if you're giving your strength unto women, means understand something, right? In the context of shalom, it's all good. You got to understand something, right? In the context of how these people lived when this was written, they were not out here randomly dating women. They didn't have a chick over here and a chick over there. When she telling him not to give his strength to a woman, she talking about his wife. You know what I'm saying? She giving him the game before he get a wife. Don't do that. Because they already know that once you get a wife, you can't be focused on pleasing the Lord. Now you got to please your wife. And I don't understand how dudes be getting up like, nigga, that's what it is, nigga. Come on, man. Verse 33.
It says, but he that is married care for the things that are of the world. How may he please his wife?
There's a difference
also between a wife and a virgin.
See, you got to understand that. There's a difference between, but you know the difference is? In this society, a wife and a virgin about the same. Because, boy, the only way, I ain't seen a virgin since I was in middle school. What I mean by that, I'm talking about a woman of age like in my, well, niggas seen virgin a long time, boy. But you got men out here walking around like, boy, that's a needle in a haystack. They think that's a red herring. That's an impossible catch. That's Sasquatch.
Right.
That's the Loch Ness Monster. You found what?
You heard of it.
I heard of it. I didn't know it existed. Hey, look here, man. Jimmy had me dying laughing, boy. 'Cause I ain't gonna lie to you. But you get you a virgin, boy, and you mess that up. Like Jimmy said, boy, God don't love you. You know what I'm talking about? He don't love you. But you know how that serious that is, boy. You get you a woman, and all she know is you. And I ain't talking about sexually. Like she ain't got just you. And you fumble that, you a jackass, and God can't love you. He had to love you enough to give you one.
I mean, you ain't like yourself.
You ain't love yourself. Man, look here, man. Boy, this niggas around here praying for a virgin. And all he got at the house coming to him is scallywags. And that boy said dirty. Because some of y'all probably done seen this, right? A lot of brew women get upset when they see dudes say that they want a virgin. How many women you just said? And they don't really, a lot of the dudes can't really properly explain the thought process of wanting a woman who ain't never been with another man. Because it's not just the aspect of her not being with another man. It's the aspects that this woman has no spiritual and emotional connection with another man. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think a lot of dudes realize, man, that some women, hey, man, some dudes with a woman, man, and that's somebody else old lady, boy, because she still love that nigga. You know what I'm talking about? And you don't want to necessarily have to deal with that. Of course, you know what most people in this society, when they think of virgin, they think of somebody 18, 19 years old. But all of us went to high school. Most of the up here, them girls lost their virginity long before 18. Long before then. Because you live in a society where everybody is moved by their loins. And everybody is enticed and provoked and prodded by their peers to, to dabble in, loin Olympics. And it just leads to a depressed society and of individuals who can't meet together in the proper fashion because everybody hunching. Come on, man. Most of us grew up in neighborhoods where you playing hide and go get. What in the world are you 5, 6, 7 years old dry humping on one of your peers? You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, then you got to ask yourself, where did you even get the thought and idea to go do that? Because, of course, you a child, so, we can't put too much responsibility at the feet of a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old child. But that means you just got exposed to some things you ain't had no business getting exposed to, or you were playing with nigga churn, who telling you, come over here and do this. This how you do it. And you trying to fit in, so you around here got some little funky head, peasy head boy on top of you dry humping. You know what I'm talking about? That's how whoremongers get birthed. That's how harlots are born. You know what the crazy part is? We don't be thinking that stuff reality like y'all wasn't churning. Some of y'all used to let them little boys play with your nipples. Some of y'all know what you were doing on that school bus with that one little boy. You got to be doing it with all of them, but you were being grown, being managed out there in the apartments, around the corner from the house, being grown. You don't think your children are gonna have them same type of thoughts and urges in their body? You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself because you have them. I seen some of y'all chuckling that high and go get. You know what you was out there doing. You know what I'm saying? You knew what you was out there doing. You know what's crazy when you be that age? It don't be the little boys who be that forward. It be the little girls. That's I'm being serious, right? All serious, right? So now that I think about it, now that I'm older and been around people and heard people's life experiences, for them little girls to be that forward, that make me think somebody had to be touching on them. Because there's no way in the world that them little girls should have been that sexually aggressive at that age, unless you were walking in on your people hunching, or you was scrolling and you were watching Cinemax and you was amazed and stayed there.
Stayed a while.
At least you're laughing. You must have stayed a while. Damn, nigga. Like, yeah, you caught them skin flicks and stayed around there for a while, huh? That laugh say otherwise. Mm-hmm. You was around there watching. What's that show used to be on HBO? I don't even know what that is. I don't know. It was another one they had, man. Yeah, real talk. Look at Dino. She's watching. It's not my favorite. She in the highlight. That's what she in there doing. American Pie was horrible. You done told this little boy that thing feel like warm apple pie, and now you got to come in here, son. We just gonna tell your mother we ate it all. Like, why would you try that? But I'm being serious though, man. Just sitting back thinking about it, because it was always them little girls. They was the aggressive ones, and some of them wanted to go meet the meat. They didn't even want to dry hump. So, like, how did you learn this? What happened to you? See, you're not gonna think about it when you that age, but when you get older, you look back on it. How did you know how to do this, and why was you so pressed to do it? That make me believe somebody was touching on them little girls, man. You know what I'm saying? I had just told Lil Muffin this here, man, and I would recommend that you tell all your children that, not just the girls. Hey, man, don't make them children hug and touch people they don't want to touch. If they say they don't want to touch that nigga, then, hey, man, you make that nigga respect that. Don't be like, give me a hug, baby. I don't want to hug you. Don't make that child hug this nigga they don't want to be touched. Because you know what's going to happen with that? That's going to lead to, when it's a nasty bastard that's trying to touch on them for real, they're going to have to think in their mind that they got to let this nigga do that. You know what I'm talking about? Because you done told them, you done made them hug them. You done made them do this here. Now, don't make them try to hug and be around and touch nobody they don't want to touch. You know what I'm saying? They got a right to say, I don't want to hug this nigga. I don't give a damn if it's your grandma, your granddad, whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? If the child don't want to be touched, then they ain't got to be touched. Because I'm telling you, I believe a lot of children been molested behind that, man. Because you like, man, that's your uncle. Hug your... No, nigga. Hey, man, shoot, just like you don't want to be touched, sometimes they don't want to be touched. Ain't that right, Fat Cheek Baby?
Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me. I gotta pee. What you laughing at? Come on, man. Let's see if we can get out of here. I got him, verse 35. And this I speak for your own. There's a difference between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman care for the things of the Lord, that she might be Kadash both in body and in ruach, that she that is married care for the things of the world, that how she may please husband. And this I speak for your own profit, that I may cast a snare upon you, for that which is comely, and that you may attend upon the Lord without distraction. But if any man think that he behaved himself uncomely toward his virgin, and she passed the flower of age, and need so require, let him do what he will. He said not, let them marry. So when he tell you this here, right? Well, why would a grown man be with a woman that young? You got to realize, man, they hadn't already betrothed people way before they were grown. See, you think about things in modern times, right? They've been betrothed. They might betroth a young man and a young woman when they 9, 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? They're not talking about getting no 30-year-old man and sliding him with a 12-year-old. Because you're supposed to know that from your law that he don't roll with that. She got to be grown. See, this is where the GMS dudes came in at talking about you can have sex with a 12-year-old when they get on their period. Or when she pass a flower, brother, you can marry her. Come on, bro. This little girl ain't even got no titties. You just happy because she having a period. Now you want to lay with her. You pervert. He said, nevertheless, he that stands steadfast in his heart and have no necessity, but have power over his own will, and has so decreed in his heart that he will keep his virgin, do well. So then he that give in marriage do well, but he that give not in marriage do better. So the wife is bound by law as long as her husband live, but if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord. But she is happier if she so abide after my judgment, and I think also that I have the Ruach Alahym. So what is he telling you? Hey, man, if your husband died and you abide alone, I think you would be better for doing so. But that's just how I deem the matter. But also the other thing he was telling you is this here, right? The scriptural example of a man marrying a woman and not laying with her is when David had concubines and didn't lay with her. Nevertheless, let's finish this Deuteronomy 17. Baby Joanne, you sound like you showing out. That's what it sounds like to me.
Verse 18.
Deuteronomy 17 and 17 one more time.
Neither shall he multiply more wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. And it shall be when he sit upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book, out of before the priests, the Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear Yahuwah his Alahym, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes, to do them.
This,
And his heart be not lifted up above his brethren,
that,
turn not aside from the commandment, right to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Yahshua.
now we're going to come back to this, y'all willing, probably tomorrow. So we're going to be back tomorrow. So when you look at this aspect about sitting on the throne and having that book, we'll sit back and look at that with Mashiach, especially when he said not to be lifted up with his brethren, because that's when John 13 come into play with him washing his disciples' feet. That's a part of the reason why he didn't multiply. See a lot of brews would be like this here. See, such and such had multiple wives, but the law, David had more and all that stuff, and you missing the point of why he gave the instruction and why the King of Kings, that doesn't relate to him. Because if you got all them women, your heart going to get turned away. And when you're not sitting back and you rooted in the word, then you're going to think you better than your brothers. Why? Because you the king. So this is why he's showing you the manner of the kingdom. That's why the kingdom had to be renewed. That might have been what you did in that kingdom, but you got a new one that's been repaired because the first kingdom you had didn't work. Indeed. Let's finish this Proverbs 31, man. We get off here, man. And again, all this still tying to what we ended with last night. Not in the letter, but in the ruach. The intent, the purpose, the rhyme. That's right, to get the kings to write out a copy, and the copy is in their heart. That's what Mashiach did. They don't even realize when he rose from the dead, Quran, he wrote out a copy. You weren't born in the 20s. You trying to escape? My baby like to escape. Proverbs 31 and 5, man. Lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that may be of heavy hearts. We done talked about this passage before, and we're going to do it again. That's right, written on fleshly tables of the heart. Let him drink and forget his poverty and remember his misery no more. Open your mouth for the dumb, and the cause of all is such as appointed to destruction. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. So these are the ways of the king. A king's supposed to plead for the poor and needy. A king's supposed to open his mouth for those who are set for destruction. Tell me what destruction is in that particular passage in verse 8 of Proverbs chapter 31. Then it goes in. See, everybody like to talk about 10 through 31. Ah, shoot, praise Yahuwah, man.
That's Cologne, destruction, passing away, vanishing, appointed to destruction.
Appointed to destruction. Anybody who is in sin is appointed to destruction. So it is necessary for the king to open his mouth. Tell him what dumb is.
That's Alahym, a mute, silent, dumb, unable to speak, speechless.
Somebody who ain't got no word can't talk. Somebody got to speak for them because they going to die. But hallelujah for y'all who starting to work, man. We're going to come back tomorrow. Y'all willing. 1:30 p.m. for the observance of Pentecost, man. And we're going to take on some other stuff. There's a lot of stuff, so there's some stuff I wanted to do today. We didn't do it. But it's all good. Because we just dealt with the aspect of what it means to not give your strength unto women. It's not a necessary thing that you trying to point and say, women are so bad. But the text is telling you, amen, their hands are snares and nets, and their hearts are snares and nets, and their hands are like bands. So if you're going to be a king, you can't do that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can't do that. But, people be in their feelings, man. But I bless y'all at the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Yahuwah willing, man. We'll be back tomorrow at 1:30. Pentecost tomorrow, so I need to be putting that stuff in the community tab, man. But I don't really log on this joint until I actually go live. But we got a Pentecost observance tomorrow at 1:30. So 1:30. So yeah, we going live tomorrow at 1:30, man. Let me know you heard me on that one before I cut this thing off, my G. Tenfold. So yeah, y'all willing, man. We'll be back tomorrow at 1:30 for the observance of Pentecost, man. Make it do what it do. Again, I bless y'all the house Alahym in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Just always look, weigh, and consider and perfect yourselves in the faith, man. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, no doubt, my G. You know what I'm saying? And you know, just move closer and closer to get to where you want to be, man. You know what I'm saying? You can get there. All you got to do is keep on pushing, man. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, y'all willing, man, till tomorrow. All right, Clubhouse, man.